The following program is hosted by immature, irreverent, obnoxious, and often disgusting young men. Listener discretion is advised.
This time on Nude Clan, I am Tekken. This is Tekken. That is Tekken. Tekken. Tekken.
Shall we play a game?
Ladies and gentlemen, to another movie review with your friends at the Nude Clan. I am your host.
I like to think we're more acquaintances than actual friends.
That's over. That's
friends with
overstepping your
benefits.
bounds.
From
No, you stay over there. You watch us because this is the relationship we want. We don't want you to be our friends.
well, I mean, we did have someone stay in our homes for a couple of weeks straight. But other
I
than
did
that,
sit on Joe's lap when we were going to get booze at KupoCon, but other than
That makes you a tryst.
yeah,
not
I mean,
friends. not a
Zach
tryst.
and I have fucked, but we kind of live close to each
Yeah,
other. So.
I still
Well,
have
like,
that video.
It's more like
that-
it wasn't a friendship fuck. It was a hey, I don't want to play video games right now.
It
fuck.
wasn't a
and there's
friendship
difference.
fuck.
Yeah,
No.
we just both happened
was it
to.
then?
We both happened to have been sitting on one of our hands, and we figured, why waste the occasion?
Yeah, well, like because we're coworkers, really, and like when you're like you've been at work, you've been like, I just don't want to work today. You want to fuck? Like it just happens, and then you go into the FedEx box truck and you fuck, and then you just what happens.
Yeah, and then it smells like a...
Truthseek asked in the chat, if we walk up to you guys in public and call you friend, how would you respond? Probably I would probably start crying. Like tears of joy.
I would just,
I've got one.
I would just pull out my marker and just sign whatever body
This is what it
part
feels
is open.
like.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take mine from more like what's his name? The dude who plays Tobey Maguire, and I just scream at you, just be like, "Who the
What?
fuck I am," and then just walk away. Now he just yells at paparazzi. That's all. It's kind of funny.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'll just put a bag over my head that
Yeah.
says I'm not a podcast host.
yeah. You would do something whatever.
But Joe, people would know
LaBeouf
that
S?
fat ass anywhere.
Hey.
I'm a for extreme. That's Zach. That's Joe. That's Schweiss.
No.
Yeah.
Thank you for the intro.
For the people listening at home,
And
you
for the
really
people-
painted
yeah.
a picture.
But real quick, for the people that
I
are
forgot
watching
this
it on
was an
YouTube,
audio.
and A4 is pointing at screens, but he's not actually pointing to the right person because he's pointing to the screens on his.
Yeah, the amount of times you motherfuckers forget this is an audio podcast.
And well,
Yeah.
normally
Have
that's
you
s-
like normally that's my big thing when listening to podcasts is like when they do something visually like oriented, and I'm like, I'm listening to this on my phone, dude. I can't see what you're doing. Like,
Yeah, I mean, have you seen our
so,
YouTube
yeah.
numbers? Nobody's watching this, okay? They're all listening.
Well, yeah, true.
Darth Stroyermon says they'd probably treat us the same way Andrew Tate treats women. So yes,
Yeah,
we
I
would
would kidnap
traffic
you and make
we would
you,
treat you proper.
yeah.
Is that what he's saying?
Oh yeah, you knew it, bro.
Yeah.
And then we would get captured by the Matrix.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good
So
Andrew
anyway.
Tate.
Oh no, that's pretty good.
Yeah, all you have to do is sound like a fucking idiot. Anyway, today we
Hey,
will be
one of his
reviewing
little
the
tater
Tekken-
tots is gonna watch this and send this to him. We're gonna have a fight with this.
I mean,
man.
I like how there was that one video of him in jail with like the huge beard, or like I don't know if he was I think he was house arrest, and like he's just walking
Wait, let's
back
be
and
honest.
forth
Is the
smoking, and
easiest
I'm
of
like,
all arrests.
who's gayer here, this guy or the guy filming him just walking with no shirt on?
Andrew
Like,
Tate's definitely like Andrew Tate's definitely like a big fucking loser, just because like He's trying too hard, essentially. That's the main crux of it. But also,
He's an alpha male, A4. You would understand.
Anybody who talks about
I
alpha
guess
males is trying too hard.
Yeah.
yes.
Anybody who-
if you
yeah.
real alpha males don't have to talk about it; they just live it. You know what I mean? It's more of like a show don't tell type of thing.
Yeah.
But
Tell
some
me
people
how
don't
it
have
is,
the fucking
A4.
mouth. I mean, look, as the
Tell me how it
alphaist
is.
male on this
Yeah.
podcast,
Tell me from
think it's
your
like-
tell me from your beta cock perspective how it looks to see an alpha male from on high.
Truth Seeker seems to think Joe's an alpha male, and I.
Oh, you know it.
that's
Yeah.
Joe, the man who, when
Shut up.
surrounded by a bunch of.
Only person who can talk here is me. Thank you.
Well, I guess I'm beta because I did shut up.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Hey, you really
point
did.
proven.
For the first time
Yeah,
in your
wow.
fucking life, A4.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think you can judge him and
Because
not shut the fuck up.
we
Joe.
addressed him by
That's
his proper
bullshit.
title.
God damn.
Enjoy
Yeah,
that
he
silence
feels-
because it's never happening again, Joe.
Yeah, I know. It was fucking weird. Scared me.
Yeah, I thought maybe you would like
But before,
about to quit the
Darth
show.
Troyer
Hey,
said
don't
alpha
quit,
for
yeah.
extreme.
Alpha for extreme.
Hell yeah, bro.
Did I ever go over the actual origin of A4 Extreme on the show before?
I don't think you've gone through your lore. We didn't find. We didn't
It's
find
not-
the.
We didn't find the item
broken.
descriptions.
Yeah.
One of his stupid little what is it? Little rhythm games. We didn't find his rhythm game. His Dance Dance Revolution game that tells us his whole backstory and lore.
Zach, I want
Well,
you to
I mean-
take one more hour to find a noun.
No,
Did you say Dance Dance Revolution knowing why my name is A4 Extreme, or
No.
was that like...
was
just-
that
Oh, okay.
real? Was that
So
real?
there's two songs on Dance Dance Revolution. One was called A, and the other one's called V for Extreme. So I just combined them to make A for Extreme. So that's why my username is that. Because I used to play a lot of DDR.
Yeah.
Wow.
I
That's
mean,
what I
mine
was
is twice one, and see,
That's why I'm like, wait, do you know the story already? Because that's the story. It's DDR.
my lore is it's my last name and the first number.
First number you could think of?
And when it's taken, it's kind of creepy, but most of the time, it's not taken.
When it's taken, I need to go to Schweistica, which Schweiss is my last name, and then the swastika, if you don't know what it already is.
It is my favorite shape. Thus, note to the listeners: never get one tattooed on your head if you have male pattern baldness in your line. Just saying.
Wait, so we're only a few years away from revealing your fucking swastika tattoo?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to just fill it in and make it a big square. Like,
Oh, no, wait, you ever see the Community episode, though, where they find out the one guy was racist, and, like, he's flashing back to all these, like, things where he realizes he's racist, and the guy just has a swastika tattoo on his chest. He's like, it's gonna be a maze when it's finished.
yeah. Yeah.
All right. What is everybody been playing this week?
Oh, I'll go first. I played a bunch of Call of Duty Zombies Black Ops with the boy.
That sounds fun.
With
Nice.
both boys. Yeah, I mean, Nicholas is pretty bad at video games. Which,
I mean,
honestly,
he's like
I
5,
can't
right?
imagine
yeah, he's
why a 4-year-old
4.
would be bad
And,
at
like,
video games.
You didn't even get the Easter egg that requires 45 minutes of setup. What are you, fucking gay? Like,
Yeah, like, come on, we didn't get the song thing. I never once did that either. I was like, yeah, I'm not doing that. I'm
you
not
just
going to
watch a
spend.
YouTube video for all those, but yeah.
I mean, I saw there was a YouTube video. I didn't even watch it, though. I was like, nah, no, that's too much. But, no, I did play some of that today, and he's terrible. And, part of me is like, I see some of these little kids who are good at video games.
How old is he again?
He's 4. And I'm thinking about it. I'm like, I don't know if I really want him to be that good at video games, because, like, I don't know. That's...
Yeah, what if he starts a
Because then
podcast?
soon the student will usurp the master.
I mean, Jace is already better at Fortnite than I am, but like I suck.
Yeah, but he was born into it.
Yeah, that's true.
Molded.
You were
Molded by
molded by it.
Yeah, I am way
You
better
didn't do
at.
Fortnite until you were already a man.
Yeah, I am a lot better at Call of Duty Zombies than he is, though. So
Oh, see, that's the good thing about Nicholas playing, though, and him being 4 is you don't have to revive him. Just fuck him.
Oh, he
if
knows.
he goes down, just I don't care.
If we lose, he blames it on me not.
Let's not
getting
use
him
the
back up.
terminology "fuck him" when
well,
referring to
yeah.
Schweiss's kids.
Yeah, you should have said like "forget him" or something like that. I was like, okay, do you mean fuck him? As
What is he,
like, fuck
fucking
him, or
CeeLo
fuck him
Green?
as in, like, fuck him?
Yeah, forget about it, Joe. Forget about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Screw him over.
he's terrible.
If
But
that's true, you know what, Joe? This speaks more about you than it does about me. I'm just gonna.
I didn't say it.
I'm just gonna
A4
drop
said it.
that little nugget, and I'm just gonna.
He just saw the look
You
on
were
my
thinking
face.
it. I just said it because I never
Walk
shut up.
away.
I say everything you're thinking all the time.
I
By the
just
way, black
want to
people
go
are
to
not.
the irony of Joe telling someone, say when someone doesn't shut the fuck up. I just think that's a little ironic.
yeah, man, can you imagine that kind of person? Someone who he thought never shuts up.
It's like you know, it's like rain on your wedding day. It's like a free ride when you've already paid.
Isn't it ironic?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So what have you been playing besides a fucking decade-old video game?
oh, it's like it's more than that, I think.
Yeah, I think it was 2010.
Yeah, so 13-year-old game.
How the
How
times have changed.
Yeah, I know. I played that though. I played Halo Infinite for like 4 hours last night with Joe. Probably more like
Wow.
3
It was 3.
because it took a minute because I was late. Because every
Yeah,
time I try to leave,
9:20.
every time I try to leave early or not early, as in 8 hours at my work, something goes wrong, so I stay longer.
That's how it works, dude. That's
then-
just the laws of the universe.
Yeah, and then Joe, of course, had weird problems too, but there's not nearly the problems we had for Halo 5. We're actually able.
But what about the
wait a
video
minute.
game?
You know what? Well, that actually goes into our sponsor this episode. Joe, talk to the people about your erection problems and how Blue Chew has helped you.
Oh man, you have no idea how much Blue Chew has helped me. All I have to do is eat it, and then I'm hard for hours.
But not more than 4, because that would require a visit to your doctor.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
You see-
I mean,
you
like
see
3 hours,
viewers on Twitch,
59
Blue Chew-
minutes.
You have a timer out, and
Yeah.
your boner finally goes down at like the
I just wanted to
3:59,
see.
59 mark.
I
You're
just
like,
wanted to
"Oh,
see
he's
how
gone."
long it would
He's
last.
like sweating. It's like 3:59. His bullets are just going down his face.
You see, listeners, Blue Chew has the same active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis, and you can get your first shipment of Blue Chew absolutely free by using code NUDE at BlueChew.com. You can get absolutely nothing because we are not sponsored by Blue Chew,
Yeah.
and probably never will be.
You guys want to hear something funny?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
So I was prescribed by my urologist, not Viagra, but the like low dose Cialis, like 5 milligrams or something like that. Because I have been doing nothing for the last 2 years but pissing all the time, everywhere. And it was getting really annoying.
Everywhere.
Not everywhere,
Oh, okay.
but needing to piss all the time. Forever.
Having a large prostate that's pushing on the
That's
bladder.
what I was scared of, and that's why I went to the urologist.
I don't think you were scared. So they're gonna put the finger up there and you're gonna be like,
No, I was terrified because I was like, "How many years has this
It
been?"
was a silver lining, Zach.
I don't.
Sorry.
I don't have diabetes. I've already got my blood checked for that. Like, what in the hell could it be? Like, everybody else can seem to make it through a 3-hour movie without having to go pee, and I am just like, I have to go at the credits and in the middle of it. And then sometimes I'm like dying near the end. I'm like, please, God, end this. John Wick 4 needs to end right now. Or else
Wait,
I'm
how
gonna
long is John Wick 4?
explode. 3 hours. And
No shit, really?
That
It's
is
just under
that is
3.
too long for a fucking action movie. Are you kidding me?
no, and it earns every minute of it. And
it was great. It wasn't my favorite, but it was great.
I saw Beau is Afraid 2 days ago, and that was also a 3-hour movie. It was a very different kind of a 3-hour movie, by the way. Oh, also totally
People seem to hate
recommended
that
for
one.
anybody. I love it.
If you
But
don't
it
like
is
the Tekken
one
movie,
You're
of
a
the
film
weirdest-
nerd. Of course, like,
It's
you
one
see
of the
Ari
weirdest
Aster on the fucking
fucking-
poster.
That's why I saw it. It's one of the
Yeah.
weirdest fucking movies that I've ever seen, and I'm so
one?
glad it exists. Beau is Afraid.
I've
Dude,
heard
there
it's
is
like
a-
people are walking out. I don't know why.
Oh,
It's the guy who did Hereditary and Midsummer.
It's just
Also, the first movie he directed was called "There's Something Strange About the Johnsons," which is about like a son who like rapes his dad.
Well, that was a
There's-
showstopper.
There is a long monologue where a mother is talking to her small child about how on the night that they like made love for the first time, that she got impregnated by him, and that him ejaculating is what killed him. And so he has the same heart murmur, is what she says. This long, scary fucking monologue about this mother like telling her son never to come, which is like fucking crazy. And then it gets nuttier and nuttier and crazier and
Pun
crazier.
intended.
Like you think you're in one place in this movie, and then it just goes like even deeper. Anyway, I recommend it for anybody who has the stomach for it, because I loved it. I don't know what it means. I left the movie theater and I was like, I know what it's exploring, but I'm not sure what's real and what's not, and it's just fucking crazy.
He didn't do what he did in his first movie, where at the very end he just explained it like you're a retard. Not his first movie, his first big movie.
Hereditary.
Yeah,
I think Hereditary was his first movie. Johnson's is a short.
I haven't. No. The Johnson thing was like a short film, but
okay.
I've also never seen any of his movies.
Hereditary
but
is
I don't
pretty
watch
good.
movies with.
but that ending,
yeah.
I
I
thought
love
the
his
ending
movies.
was absolutely retarded.
Okay, so here's the deal. I have to pee all the time.
Right now,
All the time. Yeah, a little bit.
Are you drinking 2 gallons of water a day?
I'm drinking way less than 2 gallons of water a day.
yeah, water's an
I
ingredient.
would also before the chat gets too far away, I want to point out Darth Storymon's comment.
Sorry,
that,
do you have to pee?
Blue Chew is like I'd like to point out that his comment says Blue Chew is like reverse pizza delivery, flaccid after 4 hours of your hospital visit is free. I just thought that was funny.
You know, honestly, having a slight erection would stop you from peeing, needing to pee as much.
Yeah,
It's like,
that's true.
you guys ever peed with the full on erection? It's like difficult. You have to like
It sucks.
you have to like convince your body that it's not sex time, it's time to piss.
It's like using a pressure washer that's backed up.
Yeah, I can like feel my like tubes changing lanes, like the track, like the little like
That's
fucking
a really
train
good way
track
to
mover
describe it.
thing. It's
That's
like
awesome, yeah.
the little fucking flap of skin is going from the left to the right, so I can piss with a full on erection.
All right, we're done.
We need to move from the cum tube to the piss tube.
yeah, right now.
Also, if you take a Cialis before the movie, you cut a hole in your popcorn bucket and you just bloop, and then you have a good old time.
I have not actually taken the meds, by the way.
I took
They're
like
there,
3 Blue
they're
Chew before
ready
we
for
saw the
me,
Mario
and I
Brothers
was like,
movie.
I don't need it. I don't want it. But anyway, here's the deal. This is like exactly what happened when I went to the urologist. I went in there and I was like, yeah, I need to pee all the time, to like the nurse that comes before the doctor does. And then she's like,
She
okay,
was like, and then
well,
unzips her.
and I had just gone to the bathroom and I was like, and she was like, okay, well, I'm going to need you to piss in this thing again. And I'm like, well, I just went. So it might not be that much, but I do feel the urge to go. Like I do want to go again. Like that's how bad it is all the time. So yeah, I was freaking out for like, and it took them like 2 months to get me scheduled to go to the fucking urologist too. They were like, it was like 2 months out before it could actually go. So the whole time I was like, do I have prostate cancer? Do I have prostate cancer? Like all the time, like in my mind, just going nuts doing that. And I went over there. They put what do you call that when they see the baby and they got like, it's like a low X-ray. It's like the jelly.
Ultrasound.
Your
Ultrasound.
Dude, they gave me an ultrasound for like after I went pee or like before I went pee and then after I went pee. It is like see how much I was peeing. They did a test on my urine. And dude,
Did they give you a pap smear?
I sit in there waiting for like 30 minutes for the guy to come out.
Yeah.
And then he finally, like, he's super late, the doctor, and he just goes, yeah, so you just kind of have a small bladder. I'm like,
I was really hoping the twist would be like, you're like worried you have prostate cancer. It's like, Joe, you have AIDS.
Yeah.
so I was like,
It'd be like, Joe, you're actually a woman and you're pregnant.
Yeah,
The
you're
baby's
pregnant.
on the water.
Yeah.
I was like, that's it? Like, You don't need to do any other tests. He's like, no, we already did the blood work. You're not diabetic. We have, you're emptying your bladder. Your bladder's just telling your brain that it needs to pee all the time. I'm like, okay.
You didn't even
You gotta fucking.
And then, it took me, I had to, pry the answer out of him. Like, okay, so what could I do? And he's like, well, you could drink less water. Drink less caffeine.
Yeah.
And
so you basically got, a Prius's gas tank.
They got these, you can do these, you've heard of a Kegel exercise? I'm like, yeah, I've been fucking... My all I've been doing is looking up Kegel exercises since I thought that I had fucking enlarged prostate of hell.
I want to make sure that my pussy is nice as hell when my girlfriend pegs me.
My neuroticism was making sure I knew what a Kegel was. Don't worry, I've looked up everything, Doc. Basically, before this happened. So he's like, well, you can do those, any sort of surgical thing, usually young guys don't want it. And I'm like, all right. and then I brought up Flomax. He's like, well, they have a lot of side effects. You're not going to want that Flomax. Unless you were old, I wouldn't tell you. If you're under 60, I'm not going to prescribe you Flomax.
No, wait, does Flomax affect your period, or how does Flomax?
Flomax is supposed to help guys with enlarged prostate to retain urine and go less frequently.
Well, do you have an enlarged prostate or do you have a small bladder?
I have a small bladder, apparently.
Okay.
And a tiny prostate.
And then he's like, well, I can prescribe you low dose Cialis, and it'll help your problem. And I was
so you're gonna have a quarter chub every day.
Instead of it hiding in the skin, it's gonna be poking
feeling.
out hard.
It's a good ass feeling, dude.
A half inch, rock hard. We're just getting started.
You gotta pop.
Just the tip, baby, but I'm all tip.
Yeah,
dude, having a rock hard chub in everyday situations is amazing. Before I go to the grocery store, I'll pop a couple Blue Chew and just walk around full tent, and it's amazing.
Pickle jar's over.
Anyway, go to bluechew.com.
Yeah, type in whatever code you want.
Joe talking about.
I guess there's a lot more applications for ultrasound than I thought, because you got your penis, I assume penis, or at least your
it was
area.
It was right above the pubic patch is where she was
yeah. So you got that ultrasound
giving me the gel rundown.
Yeah, no, because a couple of years ago when we weren't sure why we're not getting pregnant, I got my sperm count measured, and this is right before COVID, so it was about 3 years ago, and they had ultrasound my balls or something. So I mean, I guess that's just something they can do.
I got my liver ultrasounded, so it's pretty much anything. That's how they found out I have fatty liver.
Why did you get your liver ultrasounded, Royce?
Because I have a poor diet and drank too much.
He's an alcoholic.
Yeah,
that was what I was getting at. But
who's the one drinking right now? What is that? Michelob? You fucking loser.
It's Victory Berry Monkey, 9.5 ABV.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, but A4 doesn't have a fatty liver.
Yeah, move to fucking Pennsylvania where we have real alcohol, bitch.
So Joe talking about his enlarged prostate.
I don't have an enlarged prostate. My urologist said,
Joe talked about
have
his
a small bladder,
prostate.
Yeah,
drink less.
I had a customer.
The only doctor who's ever said so to someone to drink less water.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I have to pee every time I go run, and he's like, just drink less water. I don't know what to tell you. Thanks.
That's hilarious because there was one time I was at Alex's parents, and I would go over there with almost no sleep, and so I would fall asleep on their little chair, one of their little lazy boy recliners. And I got up, dude, and I pissed for 2 straight minutes. I had to pee kind of before I went down for the nap, and I fucking got up an hour later. And I came out, and one of her sisters was like, "Oh my God!" And I was like, "What?" She's like, "How long did you pee? Is that normal?" And I'm like, "Yeah, kinda. I don't know." So I have
Then
like
why
a
didn't
massive.
you just say, "Hey, that's none of your fucking
I
business"?
think it's weird.
about
She
my
sat by the
bathroom.
door and she listened
Yeah, what
to
the
your
fuck's
entire
wrong with you?
stream.
You fucking creep.
No, now it's like a
Disgusting.
status symbol. I like try to like go in there like ready to fucking piss up a storm. Like, all right, we're breaking the
It
record
just reminds
today.
me of the meme where it's like, damn, you frying chicken in there? No, I'm just kidding, but you piss really loud. I think that's cool as hell.
Yeah.
My buddy's wife quoted that at her Easter party, and I was like,
I would also
nice.
So I've
I would
got
also
a
like to point out
massive bladder.
Darth Stroyermon said it's called hard, flaccid, and can really suck in the wrong situation. And Red Eric says it only gets hard in the middle. So now I'm just imagining a penis that's like soft and then hard in the middle and then soft again.
I was laughing earlier at the
Just looks like an earthworm.
yeah. I was laughing
my
earlier
God.
like at the idea of like a really rock hard like 1/8 of what normally you got, but just like fucking sturdy and like not immovable, like a little chub, like a little chode.
The
but just,
world's
like,
hardest chode. It's just a button.
Yeah, it's like normally this thing's hiding in the flesh, but now it's like stuck out and it's angry as fuck because I only
Zach,
took a mini.
Schweiss
boo-boo.
cut you off.
That's okay. I just I found out that a customer of mine has an enlarged prostate because he's old and he was. So this man speaks perfect Japanese, perfect Spanish, passable English. This guy, like, it's crazy how many languages he knows, but he was getting yelled at. He answered his phone while I was talking to him at work, trying to like figure out what his problem was, and this lady answers, she's like, "This is so and so with Intermountain Healthcare," and he goes, "Yes," and she goes, "This is regarding your appointment about your enlarged prostate," and he had like on full blast, and I'm like, and she's like, "When do you want to get in and get this taken care of?" And he's like, I don't know. Can't understand you." And she's like,
Oh no!
he's like,
Oh,
"What
we're
is
breaking
this?"
up.
He goes, what is this about?" And she goes, "Your enlarged prostate." And he's like, he's like, he asked
Turn
her
on the
4
FedEx
times.
intercom.
So now I know this man has an enlarged prostate, and I just don't want to know that I know that.
Nice.
It's not
I also like that Darth Stroyermon said.
Or if I
Earthworm
had
Joe
one,
be
I would say it
cooler.
on the.
Earthworm Joe.
Or,
I
yeah,
feel
if we weren't doing the Tekken review, I would draw Earthworm Joe, and it's just him at the fucking
See,
doctor
yeah.
getting fingers shoved up to feel his prostate. And he's like, groovy.
See, I picture the image of Joe in stirrups with them doing an ultrasound on his lower tummy.
Do we really need to have my legs behind my head?
Sir, who's the doctor here?
Yeah.
What did you play, Zach?
Oh, I played Conan Exiles too, and God of War. Ragnarok.
So Joe's been playing prostate problems.
Yeah.
No, we were on twice.
So yeah. Go ahead, Zach. It's all you.
I've played a little bit of Live Alive. Played a little bit of Mario
Is it Live
Odyssey.
Alive or is it Life of Aoife Tree?
You should be so glad I don't have my soundboard right now, so I could do the fucking like rim shot
Live
noise
Alive.
over and over again to drown you out.
I played some Pokemon Go because Joe loves when I mention Pokemon Go.
My favorite.
I didn't play Halo Infinite. Oh yeah, no, this week I didn't play Halo Infinite, but I did just barely check to make sure I know what level I was on, which is 9.
So I thought you guys were going to co-op it. You two, Afer and Zach.
So did I.
I can restart it.
Well, he played it a long time ago, though, didn't you, Zach?
Yeah,
Yeah, so I think it's been a while.
What do you have it on?
PC.
Okay, we can do that.
Hurry up.
Shut
Well,
up.
I don't know what else Zach is playing, because... Are you done?
He said he's
Yeah,
playing
that was it.
that
That was those 3.
Life of Live.
It was
game.
Life of
literally
Live. Yeah, I've been
Well,
playing.
I mean,
Life
I
of
don't
Liv.
know what Zach's done. I have not played Halo Infinite yet, because I have been playing Parasite Eve 2.
Electric
on my
Boogaloo.
Vita TV.
Isn't that
Yeah.
pronounced Hell on Earth?
It's pronounced Live Alive.
Pronounced enlarged prostate.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. I got done with the first area, that like rooftop on that building,
Oh,
and now I'm at like the gas station or whatever the fuck. So I'm
The-
not super far in.
So
but
did you get the fat guy? Is that the fat guy? I'm trying to remember the boss. Wait till you get to
No.
the Elder Camel. That thing's pretty funny. It's crazy.
All right. Yeah, I'm only like at the gas station, like when you first get there. I'm just exploring.
I don't remember any. Oh no, I
I'm
remember
playing a little bit of that.
I remember. I try to forget most of that game.
It's not too bad so far. It's interesting that it's kind of the same battle system as the first one, just not turn based. It's all like real time. So it's kind of weird, but I don't know. I'm not hating it so far, but we'll see when I get to some of these trouble points that you guys hit.
It's like an interesting combo between RPG, survival horror, and dog shit. Like I would have never thought to mix those three things together, but Square Enix thinks of a lot of
Square
things.
Square Enix in 2000, so
You heard it here first.
Yeah.
And I did find out that the Third Birthday is compatible with the Vita and the Vita TV, so I will be playing Third Birthday with the PlayStation 3 controller, so that might help. I'll play it a bit on the Vita too, so I can get like the real experience. But
no, the Vita's not the real.
PSP game.
Yeah, you get your second.
Well, you know what I mean, though. Like playing it on a small fucking screen with like only one set of fucking trigger buttons and ideally one analog stick. I don't think the second analog stick is used on the Vita on PSP.
There's no
games,
analog stick that's used on a PSP game. You got the slide.
Yeah.
What
it's the slide? The slidey beam.
The 3DS does not have an analog stick.
Time.
It's called the Circle Pad. But yeah, no. I've been playing Parasite Eve 2. Played a little bit of God of War 2. I just beat up the Gorgon, the fat Gorgon with the tits out. Uriel or however you pronounce that in Greek. Yeah. So I'm not super far in that, but I'm getting there.
Nice.
Yeah, and I'm liking it. It's a cool game.
Of course it is.
And that's more or less all I've been playing is just Parasite Eve 2 and God of War 2.
That's interesting.
For games that I need to play on the actual list.
Yeah, that's interesting because I've been playing Parasite Eve the Third Birthday this week. I've also been playing Halo Infinite. And I've been playing. I'm about 5.5 hours into Live a Live.
Are you?
Isn't it pronounced?
So 5.5 hours in. Shut up, Schweiz. So you're 5 hours in.
It's pronounced mozzarella.
Are you on like? Are you playing? Have you like only done one level? Are you on two levels?
I've done prehistory, modern day, and I'm almost done. I could tell with Imperial China.
So you're living
or ancient China or
in
whatever.
Live Alive right now.
Yeah.
5 hours. Is that like a whole life?
I had to restart an entire level.
Wait.
Stuck.
Is that a whole lifetime's worth of Live
How many
Alive?
hours did you say you put in?
5 hours. 5 hours 20 minutes is what I put in.
What level did you get your caveman guy? Do you know?
Caveman guy, I got him to level 10 or 11.
Okay.
It was a little over leveled because what happened was I got stuck on the second boss, and it's
I over leveled too.
It's in a place that's like. Well, the thing is, I played the modern day one, which was just a guy fighting dudes. There was like 6 boss fights, and that was it. It was super short, and I just assumed
because the modern day one's a fighting game.
Yeah, I assumed that every level would be that easy, so I just didn't give a shit. And so like all I did was like the bare minimum, and unfortunately, he was like level 3 on a fight that. When I came back, I was like level 8-4, and the autosave was in a bad spot. My actual save was like way back, and I just restarted the whole thing and just leveled more. So there's definitely some wasted time in there. But yeah, I've almost beaten 3 of the 9.
So I beat
areas.
prehistory. I beat maybe it was Edo China, whatever the Imperial China was.
It's the Kung Fu Master with the 3.
Yeah, I beat the Kung Fu Master one.
Yeah.
I started, and I've been like kind of stuck on the Japanese one because it's like a stealth one.
Yeah, the Japanese one.
And I can't really find where I'm going, so I think I jumped out of that, and I'm just gonna play Wild West next. I'm kind of trying to go in order of years, but I'm gonna play Wild West and just see how that goes, and just go back to that one a little later.
The Japanese one, I looked over the guide just to see if there was anything I needed to know. Mm-hmm. That one, it listed that one as the hardest one, and it said basically to do all the other ones before the Japanese one.
Okay. That's probably what I'm going to do. So
right now, it's just a weird game with a bunch of just different stories that have nothing to do with each other.
Yep.
So you're multiple lives to live?
Yeah, there's multiple lives to live.
But are you
And
going
none
to
of them
spend
have
your
fatty
have-
livers.
Are you going to spend your whole life
I have always
living these lives?
Yeah. Yeah.
I have always wanted to play Live Alive. Thankfully, it's coming out on PS4 and PC like soonish. I think.
I thought it was Live a Live.
Yeah, isn't it? Yeah.
If you look at the box, it's Live Evil, actually.
Live evil.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is
Live
less
evil.
dumb. It's a less dumb name.
The fact that it has a bunch of characters, stories that I assume converge at some point, kind of reminds
Eventually.
me of Octopath Traveler. So maybe
I
there's
do
like
want
a
to play that
spiritual
second
predecessor.
one really bad.
and the name is kind of dumb.
I want to play the
too.
first one.
I mean, yeah, I want to play
Look.
the first one too, but I mean,
If there's one thing about that studio that I can respect, they go, here's our new game. It's called Project Octopath Traveler or Project Triangle Strategy. And then they're like, we should change the working title. What should it be? Fuck it. Just call it Octopath Traveler. Call it Triangle Strategy. Fuck it.
But then you got to think about it. Like, is it a person traveling 8 different paths? Because that's what that sounds like to me. I travel many paths. So is it breaking the
Well,
fourth
you as
wall?
the player
Octo.
are traveling 8 different paths through the 8 different characters.
Isn't that a
So-
fourth wall break, though? You know,
Wouldn't be the first game to do it.
speaking of fourth wall breaks, my one of the things my Conan character that I created today for another server, because the one I was in before had like an 11-person queue. One of his crimes that he committed, which is why he was banished to the exiled lands, was breaking the fourth wall. I thought that was pretty funny.
Nice.
I thought it was going to be hitting a homeless person and not remembering it.
Yeah.
Oh, the crimes that you get when you first make your character and they just have like things written down.
Yeah. One of them
Is one of them breaking the fourth wall?
Yeah. Yeah, I got
That's
that one
funny.
today.
I like that.
Yeah, you guys hear that?
Yeah.
What was that?
At home, did you hear that?
No. You did.
Okay.
I know what Joe's doing. I'm just not. I'm choosing not to.
You're not allowing it to happen.
Also, the podcast medium is not conductive to breaking the fourth wall because that's literally all it is. It's just us talking to other people, unless it's like a scripted.
Well,
podcast,
we're talking
but
to
we're
each
not that
other, and
gay.
then sometimes we'll be like, "Hey, you."
Yeah,
Yes, you.
The
You hearing me
dumbass,
right
the
now?
Hey,
dumbass looking
Derek,
at themselves in the mirror.
You see that
now.
woman next
Yeah.
to you?
think-
Strangle her.
You think you're our friends, but you're not.
You ever see that? You ever see that meme where it's like me when I listen to podcasts and it's a kid with ice cream sitting next to a picture of
Yeah,
women
a
eating ice
picture
cream
of-
together?
Yeah. That
I love
one's
that.
good.
Yeah. That was me before I got on the show. See, all you have to do is write a shitty song, and you too can be on your favorite podcast.
You too. That's right.
Not the band you two.
No, the band you two.
Comma,
Yeah.
T-O.
You could also
I
join
think-
that band if you.
Hello.
I think that's it. I think that I've only played those 3 games.
Oh, look at you.
Yeah.
But the most important question, some would say, did anyone, I'm assuming he has it queued up, did anyone beat a game this week?
Yes.
Oh, yes. Nice. Okay. No for me. Yes for Joe. Anyone else?
I know Joe beat a game. I did not beat a
Your
game.
third
this week.
birthday?
Not that I would know, because fucking Hogib is down. Thanks, Matunica.
Yeah. I mean, he said I gave him the login info. He's like, we can't log in, and I was like, yeah, that's because it's us now. And then he's like, oh, cool, and then just silence. Like,
Oh, so you didn't feel like it was important to follow up on that at all?
no, I
Anyway.
did. I followed up. He's a very elusive man.
You sound like A4 sounds like such a nagging wife right now.
He has as
so
many.
you didn't,
He has.
you
His,
didn't
he the
fucking
kind of
see it out
guy-
there? What those things, man?
Do you know how many points I have stored on Hogib over the years, Zach? That is my life that has just been erased from the ether. Okay?
yeah.
I need those points back.
So you didn't think that was
How am I going to know when I worked out?
Yeah. I mean, look at him.
It is super lame that it just like went without a just went down.
No fanfare.
Yeah.
Yeah, just one day I log into Hogib to log that I beat like Parasite Eve, and it's like, it's not loading for me.
I
That's
said
weird.
people on the Discord, I'm like, we're in the dark about this too. We don't know what's going on to it.
Yeah.
Next,
Sorry.
next
Hogib
A4
dies in
to do.
darkness.
Yeah.
You want to log your hog? Get a notebook and write down what you've beaten and what movies you watched.
Yeah, do it old school. Stop being fat and lazy with your app, with your web app.
Fucking...
And as for the points, you're going to have to calculate them yourselves. I straight up don't remember what the point values are for everything. So
Albums are one, podcasts
we might have a commissioner that knows those things, but I don't know what's happened to him. So.
I don't think he counts. So
no, probably doesn't count.
I feel like Joe might have pissed him
everyone
off
texts Jake. Everyone texts Jake your hog things for when you want to log your hog. He'll keep track of it.
Yeah,
He'll love that.
Yeah, his number is 31784.
Yeah.
I
don't even know what the Utah area code is.
801. I beat Parasite Eve. The third birthday.
So ridiculous. I beat that thing like 8 months ago, dude.
And now you got to beat it again.
No, fuck
Are you even going to remember what it's about when we get to the fucking review?
It's not about anything.
That's why he has to beat
Dude,
it again.
you can't remember what it's about when
anything.
you're watching it.
Yeah.
I didn't even have, dude, I paid attention to this one. I didn't have podcasts on it. I didn't have anything on. And I played it. And I was like, what the fuck is happening right now? Dude, I cannot tell what is happening. And the game itself doesn't know what's happening. You would have to be like
sounds
so
like a sounds like a Tabata game, to be honest.
Yeah.
Hey, wait a minute! Aren't you the bad guy? Yes, we'll fight later. I'm going to leave you in this crater with Gygus right now.
This
Whatever,
person's
what's this?
actually my son, and I hate him for wrong.
Wait a minute, Ignis. How are you blinded? You'll find out in the DLC, Noct. I can't tell you right now.
Yeah. But for one easy payment of $9.99, you can.
I mean, to be fair to the characters, if you jumped forward in time and one of them had an injury and it was already like scarred up, like it wasn't new, no one would still be talking about the injury.
I don't know if you were blind and I didn't know you.
That's a really bad way to fucking. Why are you justifying 15's awful
I'm
writing?
justifying it, as I don't think it's as bad as people give it credit for.
It's because Joe.
I like 15 just as much. I like 15. Don't get me
Fans.
wrong. I'm just saying it was a little clumsy in its delivery because
Yeah, no, I had my
episodes.
problems. I had my handful of problems with the story, but I didn't have the same problems other people seem to have. Which I don't know. I don't know what I copped that up to.
I probably should have had problems with 15 considering once chapter 3 opened up and I could start doing open world shit, I was like knocking out like every side quest before I started continuing like the main storyline.
Yeah.
So I put way more hours into that like way early than I should have. I like 15. I think it's still my lowest ranked Final Fantasy. No, wait, no. 1 and 2 might be lower ranked than 15 now, honestly.
2.
Now that I've played them.
1, 3.
I think 1 is higher than 2. Hold on, I have it on my phone. What am I doing? My ranking so far of all the
13?
Final Fantasies that... Yeah. The ones that I have beaten so far, my Final Fantasy ranking is as follows. At the bottom is 2, then it's 1, then it's 15 Royal Edition, then it's 9, 10, 4, and 7. Granted, I haven't beaten the others yet, but,
4 over
That's where we're
10.
at.
Come on. Don't be gay.
I think 10 is like... I think the way the characters act and some of the story beats are a little silly, especially because of the voice acting and the way the characters look. And I think 4 is more of like a traditional kind of fantasy story, which is why I probably ranked it higher.
Yeah.
And it's got a lot of good characters that like, they're not in the game for very long, but they have a lot of good presence when they're there. Like you have the twins, you have Tella, you have Yang, you have Fusoya. All these different characters come in and sort of like play their little part in this giant ensemble cast. Whereas like when I think about 10, all I think about is it's your fault, everything, just shit like that. Not that 10 isn't a good story. It's still my third ranked Final Fantasy so far. The ones I've beaten, but.
Whatever happened in 4 and 5, 6 did it better and bigger.
Yeah. Except for Fusoya side
Yeah.
up.
I get the feeling that
dies.
6 is going to be my top rated one when I finally finish it. But yeah,
6
so
is
far
a-
that's my
6 is a
ranking,
masterpiece.
just based on the ones I've finished.
Yeah.
I mean, I know I've played like half of it so far, but
Yeah. I still, that the image of Fusoya when he goes down, he looks like a fucking sunny side up egg getting cooked. Like, I don't know, man. It might, I don't
Let's
think
just say
6
I can
has got nothing
playing-
on that.
Playing 4, I can see why it's a beloved entry. It being like in context, like the first one to really push the story forward compared to the first 3. And keep in mind, I was playing the remake. I was playing the 3D remake of 4. So, I had to deal with
That's
all the
even
fucking
less of an excuse.
janky ass voice acting.
Yeah, you should hate it even more.
I liked it. What can I say?
Just
thought it
wait
was a
till
cool little
Rydia
game.
is like rocking those tits in after years.
I know. I saw it.
It's crazy. I was like,
I finished the game.
All right.
Whoa!
I've seen plenty of good adult Rydia porn.
Did no one else beat a game?
I didn't. Not that I would know because Hoggett
Wow.
is down. But no, I didn't beat a
You
game.
just
this week.
can't remember 1 week ago.
No, I
an
didn't.
odd week.
I just know the last game I beat was Parasite Eve. So
Yeah, I'm pretty close to God of War. I think I have like 4 chapters left in the game. I don't know what that
Ragnarok?
means. Yeah. But I am also trying to do all the side quests and everything in it as well, so I'm not in any particular rush to beat it. But I am getting close.
I feel
And
like next week I could have God of War 2 done.
I was
but-
trying to
We'll see.
I wanted to watch a Bond movie last night, but then I remembered I had to watch this fucking Tekken movie. Which is I think what we're actually here to talk about today.
Oh yeah. Tekken.
Oh, Tekken.
Tekken. A 2009.
The movie in which the word Tekken is uttered more than any times that it's ever been uttered in the
In
history
real
of
life.
mankind.
Yeah.
You can be
in
at a
real life,
Tekken
yeah.
tournament, and if you count up the amount of times Tekken is said, not even close. Not even
Yeah.
close. Tekken is a 2009 American science fiction martial arts film directed by Dwight Little, written by
It's the
Alan
director
B.
of
McElroy.
Halloween 4,
Yeah, he's
You know
by
it.
the way.
a little known director.
It stars John Fu as what is his name?
Jin Kazama.
Jin Kazama. And then a bunch of like sexy blonde women as all the other women in the movie, and then
The girl who played Christy apparently was in True Blood for like a season and a half, I guess.
Is that the one with the pants, the like ass version
with
of
the
a
cleavage,
bralette?
with the ass cleavage? Yeah.
Okay.
The one that he ends up like making out with, and then they keep cutting back to his girlfriend in the slums.
Yeah, that was the best. That was the
Yeah.
best.
I have a note in here, and I was like, what did it say? I was like, why does it keep going back to the old slum cum dumpster?
Jesus Christ. Jesus.
Jin's old cum dumpster is pumped. That's what I wrote down.
Also stars Kerry Hiroyuki Tagawa. Sorry about the name. I've seen him in a million things though, but he's
Is that
playing
the guy who played,
Shang Tsung.
Yeah, I was
the
going
guy
to say
with
the
the
guy who played
eyes.
Shang Tsung in Mortal Kombat is Heihachi in this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was like, that guy I recognize. Everyone
Or-
else.
Or it could be seen as like the guy that doesn't match the rest of the movie at all.
Yeah. But he's from the game.
Well, no,
Oh, he's from the game though, and he looks fucking crazy. What the fuck? I can't believe this guy
movie
owns a
doesn't-
Fortune
dude.
500 company. What the
No,
fuck?
dude.
The
This-
guy they
this
pulled him
movie-
out of
this
a
movie-
fucking dumpster. That's where they pulled
this
this,
movie does
guy
not
out
even.
of.
Yeah,
This
he
movie
was-
does not even touch how stupid the fucking Tekken character
He
designs
was
get.
was
Like, you
fishing
have
out.
Paul
He was
Phoenix in
fishing
here
out.
with his fucking Paul Phoenix with his fucking 3-foot tall cylinder of hair that he has, or like the two fighters that are legitimately just bears. One's a panda and one's an actual bear.
Yeah, I mean, when the guy with the sword came out, I was like, "Oh, you gotta be fucking kidding me! You're gonna let this dude with a sword fight?"
He's from the game.
Yeah, I know.
He's
and then
from
they,
the game, and he uses a sword in the game. But
I
like,
mean, at the very least, they made it a weapons match. I was like, "What kind of bullshit is
Yeah.
this?" Like, you
I
gotta
guess
use
he
your
has-
fists.
I don't know. What,
He has full fucking armor too. Jin has.
I don't know what the
gauntlets.
crossover.
He doesn't even have any.
Someone who
chest
knows
armor.
Tekken lore. Someone
No
who
one
knows
knows
Tekken lore will
Tekken
know
lore. No
better
one
than
gives
me.
a
But
fuck.
like,
Yeah,
I think
who knows
Yoshi.
this
I think
game?
Yoshimitsu also crosses over with Soul Calibur because there's also a Yoshimitsu in Soul Calibur, which is also made by Namco.
Maybe it's
So-
just the Japanese version of like John, John Smith. That's it.
Oh, you mean like Jack? Because they have the armed soldiers that are Jacks, which I believe is also a reference to a character from Tekken. I believe his name is Gunjack, but in this movie, it's just a bunch of guys in kendo armor with like the face masks and the hoods.
Yeah, I was like, man, there's
Just
a
with
lot
P90s.
there's a lot of Japanese people in America here, and the main one is a British accented Japanese guy.
Yeah, so John Fu, it may surprise you to know that he's not American. He is in fact
What?
he's in fact a British immigrant playing an all-American thief in this movie, and he cannot hide his British accent to save his fucking life.
Yeah, like they might as
No,
well
he
have
can't.
hired. They might as well have hired Sean Connery to play this fucking character. Like,
That would have made this movie way better. Maybe
My
it was
mother told me that I should never have anything to do with Tekken.
yeah,
I
what's
don't
the-
join causes.
What's that line where she's like, I might have to kick
What
your ass
credits
around. He's
will
like,
you give
I
me?
hope you do.
yeah.
The assassin.
What's your name,
That
Pushy
woman
Galore?
fighting is the assassin.
I want it in global dollars.
Yeah.
So
Nothing
the
more, nothing
the
less.
story of this movie, in this movie's own words, is quote, after the terror wars, corporations took over everything.
Now, when did this movie come out? It was 2009, right? 2011.
2009, 2010.
So we
2009.
assume the terror wars are when George W. Bush hit the two towers and made
That's-
it fight
yeah.
Iraq. Okay.
Yeah, that'd be
That's
it.
just
With the bomb,
And then a bunch
da
of
bombs.
corporations, a bunch of corporations now rule the world. For some reason, the one in America is called Tekken, which the very little I know about Tekken lore, the actual like corporation that rules everything in the Tekken lore is the Mishima Zaibatsu, which is what Heihachi and Kazuya run, not the Tekken Corporation. Also, the Tekken Corporation runs the Iron Fist tournament. Tekken translates to Iron Fist. So makes sense of that.
So they
as you will.
they just did it
That's
to
why-
say Tekken even more, but without us knowing.
Yes. Literally, if this movie was following like
we are
actual
Tekken,
series
and we
lore,
will
they would
run
not
the
be saying
Tekken.
Tekken nearly as much. They probably wouldn't even have said Tekken at all, honestly.
Watch Tekken.
His name should have been, like I said, like Miss Amashi or whatever. It should have been like Miss Tekken or some shit. Like Misha Tekken. Just throw it in there. Everyone's name.
Like, they could have done it. Like, they could have just called it, instead of the Mishima Zaibatsu, they could have just called it the Mishima Corporation. But no, we have to call it the Tekken Corporation so people know what movie they're watching.
Yeah, I
mean,
mean,
movie with the
Podcast,
fucking-
Ultimate Tekken.
I thought they said
Yeah.
like fist as the opening thing. I was like, what? Like the tournament like fist. That's what I heard. So I don't know. Maybe it had fisting on the money.
No, it's Iron Fist. That's, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no, I thought
so-
it was I like fist. That's what I think I thought it was. I was like, what? I wasn't
movie
gonna
took, like-
rewind.
I believe you do.
Yeah.
I believe you do.
This movie took like 7 years to make. They bought this company, Crystal Sky Pictures, bought the. That's not that long, honestly. They bought the rights in 2002 from Namco Bandai Games for $60 million. They just the
Ooh,
rights
bad
to
choice.
the movie.
Yeah.
Jesus.
That's probably
and
why
basically
they all had to live with their parents to pay it off.
it had. Thank you. It had a couple. It had like another filmmaker attached, who then just like quietly bowed out of the project. No one really knows why he left.
No, you know why he left. You saw the.
I'm pretty
finish
sure I
line.
know why.
I know exactly why he left. He was smart.
And then Dwight H. Little signed on to become the new film's director. He had no like concept of the game except that like his kids sometimes played it. And he decided because of the low budget level, probably for other reasons, to basically take out all the fantastical elements out of Tekken and just make
Which
it like
they
a
did.
street fighting movie.
There's
Although
no robot girls or fighting pandas or wood robots. There's just it's
Except for the one dude where
post-apocalypse
he's like,
and everyone's
"You got, like," the dude who like took all his bones out or some shit. And he's going, "You got."
oh the half robot guy.
Yeah,
yeah.
Jesus
But like,
Christ, you're basically a robot.
but like if you watch this movie not knowing Tekken and then you look at like any cutscene from Tekken, like the video games are like fucking clown shoes bullshit compared to this. Where like this movie's like it's
know,
a dark,
it's
gritty post-apocalypse where like
yeah.
where everyone's got to adhere to the curfew and it's blowing up people's families' houses. Meanwhile, the game is like a fucking like Japanese schoolgirl riding on a bike with a panda, and then she's talking to like a big sumo wrestler, and then there's a girl with purple hair who's a robot, like a cyborg. It's fucking retarded.
Yeah. They wanted to film it in Europe, but then eventually ended up filming in Shreveport, Louisiana, because they could use the public arena there.
What?
There was, and that was like due to their budget. It was $30 million film.
Yeah.
You can't just wait till I tell you how much it made.
Yeah. Well, I didn't think this got I didn't think this got a theatrical release until it was on the list, and I'm like, did it get a theatrical release? 'Cause I didn't fucking hear about this until like years later.
Yeah, nobody saw it, but
My favorite part of the Wikipedia page is this sentence. In regards to the battles, the staff aimed to create homages, macabre. Sorry. In regards to the battles,
yeah.
the staff aimed to create homages to the video games with little specifying the faithful recreation of Eddie Gordo's moves. They compared Little as the name of the director, right? Am I crazy?
Yeah,
Dwight Little. Okay, yeah. Thanks, Wikipedia. Appreciate that. Just saying Little with a capital L there. Confusing the shit out of me.
very small.
They compared the fighting styles they used with Gladiator from 2000 when dealing with the Yoshimitsu
And citation.
No, that's the quote.
That's it. The Wikipedia page.
That's the quote on the
sick
Wikipedia
of
page.
talking about this movie. It just
As of the recording of this episode.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
I would like to say I could see the Gladiator influence, and in fact, I thought that before reading the Wikipedia page because they do like this high shutter rate look to the fight scenes with like a lot of handheld camera movement stuff, and Gladiator used that a lot. So like specifically with the camera techniques, they were doing that in a lot of different spots. Although without the, I guess, finesse and direction of a Ridley Scott to tell us where to look and what people are doing and all that in a fight scene, it was really, really chaotic. It seemed like they covered every choreographed fight with like 9 different cameras from like all around and just cut it together the best they could. And it's really,
except
really
for all
messy.
of Jin's fights in which we have to have him get beat down and then he has to have a flashback to his mom teaching him how to fight, in which he comes back and wins the fight afterwards.
Yes.
Every single fight he's in.
Yeah. And so I would also say that it's not like the fight scenes in Gladiator. There is one great fight scene in Gladiator. It's the guy with the mask and the tiger. That part is sick. But it's not like fight scenes in Gladiator are really all that like high choreographed stuff. The thing about the fight scenes in Gladiator is that you give a shit about what's happening to the characters on screen.
You didn't give a shit about Jin? That's bullshit.
No. And you know what? You know why?
He didn't give a shit about Jin after he put on the power gloves, the quote power gloves, and did the thing for the video game.
Jin didn't give a shit about anybody. The guy didn't even cry for his fucking mom. He gets there and he's like, oh, my mom's dead. And he's just kind of like, I don't know, like,
Bro,
he's just
he
kind of a
looked like-
downer about it. And then he
like
moves
every
on with his
single
day.
emo person from that era.
That's
with
true.
his hair. Like,
Also,
so that's why.
Also, when A4, when you're talking about like looking at the video game, it's all like crazy, and looking at this was post the Bourne movies. And so every action movie at that time was like trying to be like down and dirty, handheld.
Yeah.
This is right in that time. So it's funny which movies didn't age that well and which ones did from that time period.
Yeah.
I
If
edited
you thought
Bond
Tekken
did
was gonna
that.
age well, you're fucking insane.
I edited the Wikipedia because it said Tekken holds a critical score of 0%, but I rewrote it to Tekken boasts a critical score of 0%. So there you guys go. It does kind of look like Gladiator. They definitely went a little crazy with the slow-mo in this movie. I feel like it's only actually like a 50-minute movie, but they slow down,
especially at the beginning, like
forever.
The opening titles, when they're like showing the slow-mo shots of the fucking crowd in like the arena, like they had to like interpolate the frames where it's got like that weird like kind of blurry thing between the frames, right? Did anyone else notice that, or is that just me?
It's just like digital slow mo.
It
what.
looks
So like
super bad.
you filmed it in a normal. You filmed it in a normal frame speed,
Frame
and then
rate.
you had to slow it down.
Yeah.
Then you had to slow it down in post production, and that's what that look is. And a lot of movies from like 1998 to like 2004, they did that a lot. There's a lot of that in there because you know it was just the technology. Relatively new.
It was the style at the
and
time.
they were using it. Right. This actually used a lot more in-camera stuff, so I'm not sure if like all the shots you're talking about are using that. There was a lot.
It was just the opening.
The guy was using the fast shutter speed more than anything else, as far as his like camera tricks were concerned, which can be effective. But I sometimes see it. I started noticing it. First off, I've had to deal with it at work every once in a while, just like with the camera we have and like getting exposure. And other people on my work will like set the shutter speed up because to them it's like a way to like quickly get more light into the image, and it makes it look like jittery. And there was just like, I'm like, why is it doing that? So I had to do a deep dive, like, I don't know, pretty soon into my job about like why the fuck it was looking the way it was. And now I see it every once in a while, like, and I'll see it in foreign television shows where they don't seem to give a fuck. And so like I'll see like a jittery shutter speed on like just a regular ass scene in a movie or in a TV show, and it'll just be like, okay, why did you use that shutter speed? Anyway, so they do it a lot to emphasize like the grittiness of the action in this movie, which Gladiator did. And it's,
did we point out this
action
movie's
scenes
rated
a lot.
R for no reason?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
What?
I didn't realize
Why
that.
is it rated R?
No tits, no ass.
I really
a sex
had
scene.
my heart. I had my heart
Barely.
set on a
barely.
titty. I really
It's
did.
a PG-13 sex scene.
Yeah.
Her body's in the shadow. You don't like.
So I forced my
Well,
girlfriend to watch this movie.
there's like a couple of them. There's a couple of them. There's when Jin has sex with his like slum cum dumpster girlfriend, and then there's the one where Kazuya's having sex with Nina and Anna Williams.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
but, like the thing is, like when it's that one, you just see her like back, and she's like staring at him, and you know she's getting doggied, but it doesn't show anything. Like you're like, oh. But no, so
Yeah.
the one sex scene, my girlfriend walked in because like I made her watch it, pseudo watch it with me, and she was also very upset there was no titties. Like
Yeah.
the chick, like it's
There's
she's
like
We're all
there's a
She
lot of
goes-
implied.
She's like,
TNA.
you're making me watch this. I didn't see one boob, and I was like, shut up.
One, there's no F words. There's
Yeah.
not
No.
really any blood.
There's kind
There's a
of
lot of
gore, but not
implied
really.
TNA in this movie. Like Christy, who's like the quote unquote main love interest after he joins the Iron Fist tournament, has like ass cleavage pants at the club.
Yeah.
But that's about
Yeah.
it.
Well,
There-
someone when she's like doing crunch or like the lifts, you see her nipples through the shirt, but it's just like
That's not enough. We have to
I know,
have
I'm
something to
not
get us
saying
through
it
these movies.
I need to know what color
If I
her
can't
nipples
jack
are,
off
and I don't
to
want to
this
watch
movie-
True Blood to find out.
There's no reason to watch it.
Yeah.
there's really not.
Yeah. So
Um,
the basic plot is that Jin is living in the slums in a place called the Anvil outside of Tekken City, and
Which translates to
every
Iron
year,
Fist City for those of you listeners who don't know Japanese.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and the word anvil
and then-
translates to Iron Fist, which translates to Tekken.
Yeah,
For American,
and then every
listeners,
year, every year, all the corporations come together. They bring their best fighters and have the Iron Fist tournament. Well, there's like it's like a post-apocalypse where everyone's rationing food and there's
in
like
the Tekken
curfews
tournament.
and whatnot. Yeah, the Tekken tournament. And Jin's mom gets blown up in her house because he's doing like runs for anti-corporate revolutionaries, so to
Yeah.
speak.
And those guys
So
get
then
fucking
after that, he's
murked,
like, mhm.
and you don't
So
even
then
see it.
basically he's like, I've had it. He's gonna go enter the Iron Fist tournament, and then he does, and then they have all the Tekken characters you might know and love from the Tekken games if anyone actually played those.
if you've ever actually
In the
played a
tournament-
Tekken game, they might, yeah.
I don't know if I've ever even held one in my
Uh,
hands. Like, not even touched
I don't
it.
think I've played a single second of
Yeah, I don't think
any
I've ever
Tekken
played
game
it.
besides
I don't-
like
yeah.
I might have played Tekken 3 once at like on an arcade machine at the beach, but that's about it.
Yeah, maybe
played
Um,
Tekken 5.
maybe like an
little bit.
arcade game that I didn't realize was Tekken, but I have no memory of actually playing it once.
Like, and I feel like I've played, like, I've played Mortal Kombat, I've played Soul Calibur, and I've played Street
Street
Fighter.
Fighter.
Like, the bigger ones, but like, and it feels like Tekken is a bigger one, but I don't know anyone who plays it.
yeah.
Like,
And that's why
no.
this movie made $1.6 million
Yeah.
from a budget of
On a
$30
$60 million budget or whatever.
Honestly,
$30
while I
million
was-
budget,
while I
but
was-
the company bought the rights as a total for 60, so they're down a lot of money by
Yeah,
now.
they're
they
done.
Yeah.
they made another movie that's like a straight to like streaming
Tekken 2?
sequel. So
It's like a prequel to this, yeah.
yeah. So this was completely what's surprising about this to me is like this was not a studio movie whatsoever. So this is like what's surprising and what's also sad. This was a totally independent production from Crystal Sky Pictures. It says like the release date November 5th, 2009 at the American Film Market. The American Film Market is not a public place where like normal people could go watch a movie being premiered. It's a place where you put on a movie so that possible sales agents will pick up your movie and then sell off foreign rights to your movie at the American Film Market. So there's like, it was a totally independent thing. They didn't have a distribution set up. They had to go and sell it on the American Film Market. Anchor Bay Pictures picked it up, and then they gave
which
it
is apparently like a
small,
Stars company.
a small theatrical release. Anchor Bay is
Yeah.
like, they have a ton of like home entertainment stuff. So it's not like a little company, but
I just remember seeing like a Stars company when I started the movie today.
interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was owned by Stars, but anyway, they just kind of just shat this movie out and it made nothing and then they moved on. And it got like no critical reception. It has a 0% on Rotten Tomatoes, which
Boasts.
I'll be honest, in comparison to other movies that we've watched that deserve a 0% on Rotten Tomatoes, I don't think this is that bad.
This is
Yeah.
probably
fucking
better than
bad.
House of the Dead.
No.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, House of the Dead's funny at least, and we got titties.
There's a good point. Like this is like really bad mediocrity.
Yeah, there's something to be
And it's
said
very
about
serious.
It's boring.
Uwe Boll bringing up a score.
Very
He's like
gritty,
the
very serious.
Nick Cage of directors, you know.
Very gritty, very serious, but no soul whatsoever. There's no heart in this movie.
Because, like I said, the games themselves are very goofy and they can be lighthearted. There is like some serious bits in there, but it's mostly having to do with the Mishima like bloodline between Heihachi, Kazuya, and Jin, which they get in this movie, but like the whole thing is just so dour and like, oh, we're living in this post-apocalypse where like if you don't follow
but
your
then you
curfew
look
and you
at
try to
that
go
guy's
fuck-
eyebrows and you laugh your fucking ass off for another 30 minutes, take you through
Yeah.
the movie.
Again, those
Like-
character designs are fairly accurate to the game.
Yeah,
I don't know
I'm
what
sure
you're
they
telling me.
are. That's why they didn't make sense in this fucking movie. When I was
Yeah.
watching, I was like, "What the fuck is that? What is that?"
You know, you say
It's
that.
like
you say
a
that,
movie
but,
like this, I don't know, kind of like, kind of B grade, kind of crappy post-apocalyptic movie I'm watching, and then a guy comes on the TV from fucking Speed Racer. And people take him seriously.
Yeah.
And it's like, what the fuck is this thing? What is that?
See, this is
gross.
That's the problem I have with this is the problem I have with Speed Racer, the Wachowski movie. But I will say, personally, somewhat knowing the Tekken characters, like seeing the actual fights with the characters that look like kind of like the Tekken characters, that was the most engaged I was in the movie. Because like in between some of the fights, they have to like go like grab guns and rescue fucking Heihachi from like a. He said you're behind bars, but he's within a chain link.
Yeah,
fence,
he's
so
in
I
a
thought that was
fence.
funny.
Like, we got you in the slammer.
But like at that point, I'm like, I don't care about these characters when they're like running around with guns. I want to see them do martial arts bullshit.
Yeah.
Oh, dude. No,
Honestly-
dude. Sorry, Zach. Go ahead.
No, what were you gonna say? No.
All right. So I've got my notes here, and I only took notes on the first 30 minutes of this movie because I just couldn't
Afterwards,
pay
yeah.
attention after that. I put not the worst production value, like in the dumb, like after the Terror Wars, like thing right at the beginning.
Yeah.
It was like there were like explosions and it was like shot well, and I'm like, okay, all right, this isn't. I was ready for Uwe Boll. I was.
Oh, man,
whenever I don't,
Again, we're dealing with the
Whenever I
director of
don't-
Halloween 4 here, so
Yeah.
we're not like completely in the dark.
yeah. So whenever I don't get Uwe Boll, I'm like surprised. I'm like, oh, okay, good job, guys. Like, and then there's like a random like the Jin character, right? He like is like about to fight, and then it's like 5 days later, dude. It's like a 3-second shot. And then the movie's like 5 days later. I'm like, 5 days later from what? A guy posing for a second?
Yeah. Those opening
Yeah.
credit scenes were way bad, too. Like,
Oh, yeah,
him
the sick
running up
puppy
the
song.
wall.
I realized.
Yeah,
I
that too.
realized. What I realized with this movie is that all these video game movies, at least like the really really bad ones, discounting like Detective Pikachu and Sonic and Mario Brothers, it's just like at least the ones from like the late 2000s to the mid 2010s. These video game movies are just an excuse to get actors in like video game cosplay for a couple seconds, which is kind of what this movie is for the most part.
When I went to look for this on Tubi, by the way, Tubi will stop your video every like 30 minutes. Or not less, like probably like every 10, 15
For a
minutes.
commercial.
I give you 6 fucking commercials at a time. I wanted to kill them.
Makes
But you
a
got
80-minute
six, I only got,
movie
like, one
feel
or
like
two,
2
but-
hours.
Are you kidding? I had 5 times 6 fucking commercials, and they weren't even short.
You should have ad block
I think
on,
I had
dude.
5. I think I
Oh
had
my
5.
god.
Oh, I just rented it. I heard you guys' complaints, and I'm like, nah, I'll pay $3.
Nah, I'll give him a little bit of that 30 million.
So
Yeah, they're hurting.
Yeah,
when I typed
they're
Tekken
probably
into the
bankrupt.
search bar, it was the movies that came up were Tekken 1, Tekken 2, brand new Mortal Kombat, and I was like,
You hovered over that Mortal Kombat, like, oh man.
I started watching Tekken, and I was like, I just want to watch the new Mortal Kombat.
Because the new Mortal Kombat's not bad. It's
The
like
new Mortal Kombat may not have titties.
I just
but the
wanted to
gore is
watch a
awesome.
James Bond movie, and then I
Oh.
remembered. I was like, fuck.
All right, I take back all the words about me saying like this was a little company that could trying to get like a little movie together. This is Crystal Sky Pictures. I want you to listen to these credits. 1992, The Double O Kid. 1999, Baby Geniuses.
no.
Yes. 2001, The Musketeers. 2004, Super Babies, Baby Geniuses 2.
No fucking shit.
And they came out with this rated R masterpiece called
2005, Solo, different Solo. 2000, although that's almost as bad. 2007, Ghost Rider,
Oh no.
No
Tekken.
way.
Shit. Are you serious?
Bratz, Big Stan. 2008, Doomsday. 2009, Opposite Day. Tekken. Robo Sapien Rebooted.
Well, that sounds sweet.
2011's
I want to watch that movie.
2011's Ghost Rider Spirit of Vengeance. 2014's Tekken 2 Kazuya's Revenge. Dude, I guess these people just made all their money on Super Babies, Baby Geniuses too.
Wait,
Just,
so
like, fucking-
Kazuya's Revenge, is that I thought you said that was a prequel. Is it a
limited
sequel?
theatrical release in Asia. Never got released here.
Fuck, I need to watch that so I can know what happens to all the characters I love from the Tekken
2016
movie.
JL Ranch.
Honestly, Zach, I can send you a Tekken lore video that will explain everything way better than that movie ever could. Also, Cleva Fella in the chat said that this movie even have Korean backdashing. I'm assuming that's a reference to the Tekken games. I wouldn't know. I've never
No idea.
played them, most like everyone else.
but
Yeah.
are you ready? Are you ready for their last credit?
Yeah.
Sure.
2017 Ghost in the Shell.
Oh wow.
Oh,
Yeah.
that?
Yeah, dude.
Wow.
This company just takes things that are not big, like it just takes movie rights from things and then just makes like cheap dog shit versions of it.
Apparently.
That's crazy.
I didn't hear good things about that Ghost in the Shell live action movie, but I also didn't
I didn't
see it,
either.
so-
I didn't see it.
Yeah.
All I knew was people were mad because Scarlett Johansson played the main character, and they're like, she's
Yeah.
not Asian. And I was like, but she's hot, so I gave her a pass.
Yeah, well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So global dollars are printed on a normal ass printer is what I put down.
Dude, they were printed on like high glossy paper.
Yeah, dude. I was like,
Or
that
something.
looks like at the production office they just printed out some bullshit and then cut it up with some
Well,
scissors.
you were saying
Okay.
that like not bad production values for this, and
No.
I'm like, this looks like it had a budget of $6.
So, wait,
Are you kidding?
you-
No,
You're
I would
talking
say
about
not
money.
bad. It was not filmed. It wasn't filmed poorly. They had like explosions. Like they had a limited budget, but they were filming it well. But there were like the money
Right.
thing, and then that guy, and then his son's fucking like look.
Heihachi and
insane.
Kazuya.
Oh, you
Those
mean
are insane.
Asian Benedict Cumberbatch and Crazy Brows?
So
Crazy
speaking of,
Brown.
like,
Have you seen what
they're, like-
Heihachi actually looks like in the games? Though? 'Cause that's
A4. Have
fairly
you seen
accurate
what
to
the
he looks
rest
like.
of the movie looks like?
Yeah.
And then you see these
I watched
guys
the whole thing 3
that are
hours ago.
chiseled from plastic.
Yeah,
What
I
the
know.
fuck? might
Again,
as
you
well
don't
have
have
been
Paul Phoenix
CGI
with his fucking-
characters.
you don't. You don't know. Yeah, well, there was actually a CGI Tekken movie called Blood Vengeance, but that's neither here nor there.
Okay.
No, we don't have the fucking wood robot. We don't have the fucking panda and the bear. We don't have Paul Phoenix with his fucking tower of blonde hair. We don't have fucking trying to think of other retarded characters from Tekken.
I don't know what you're even talking about. I've never heard of any of this.
Clever. Don't worry. You don't need to.
Tekken game knows a lot about Tekken
Yeah.
characters, and I find that suspicious.
Yeah.
I know about stuff. I just don't play the. Oh,
You
and there's
don't
also
have to
King,
pretend
who's a.
because we think
No,
it's
hold on. There's
It works
also
Mike
also
Tyson.
King, who is a wrestler with a fucking leopard head over his head.
Oh, I might have seen that before.
Clever fella's asking, sorry, have not seen. Did Kazi or Heihachi say Doria when they did the electric uppercut? Not only did they not do the electric uppercut, they didn't say Doria. Yoshimitsu is in this movie, by the way, and no boxing kangaroo. There is a Tekken game with there's a bunch of Tekken games with a boxing kangaroo as one of the fighters. I don't know what his name is, but
A lot of hammy acting from this movie.
Yeah.
a
Like
lot
pretty
of
bad.
hammy acting.
Pretty bad acting.
A lot.
I don't know.
Uh,
Jin really sold me when he was like, "My mother's dead."
Yeah.
No, the hammiest acting was when he found those two guys at the
My
bar and they were like,
dead,
Jin
is what he actually
Kazama.
said.
Jin Kazama
My
used to be
mom-
the hero of the anvil, and now he's not even going to fight in the Iron Fist tournament, whatever the fuck, like they said. It was just so bad, dude.
Yeah.
Okay, I got. There was the one part where the guys were like, "I used to watch you street fight," and when I heard that, I was like, "I used to watch you street fight." Trademark. Like I was ready for.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I was watching it with my buddy
He
on
used to be a
stream, and when they
Street
said that, he
Fighter
said
in Mortal
wrong game.
Kombat.
Yeah. One thing I
yeah.
really loved was when he did his first entry round as the People's Choice. That was that like entry fight. The crowd was yelling his name, but no one else knew his name but his three friends at the bar. And then right after that, the main guy, eyebrow dude, says the mystery fighter. I'm like, who do we know him or not? Like, we can't make out the crowd shouting Jin, like chanting it, and then like his three buddies from the bar back home are chanting it, and then that's it. Like,
Dude,
no consistency.
I love how this movie like posits that like some kid who was taught Tai Chi by his mom could beat a bunch of professional fighters that are bigger than him that have been doing nothing but fighting their whole lives for the Tekken
No,
tournament.
but Joe,
Hilarious.
Joe, you don't understand. When he's about to be beaten, he remembers his dead mom teaching him Tai Chi, and that helps
For
him
like
win the
3
fight
straight
every
minutes.
single time.
For like
her
3
mom-
minutes.
I'm sorry, his mom does not even seem that interested in the Tai Chi that she's doing. She's just doing like old lady
it's
Tai Chi
lore
in
shit.
the kitchen.
Yeah,
It's all lore shit
it's
for
like,
the video games.
She's doing like keep myself flexible Tai Chi, not like fuck
Yeah.
people up Tai Chi.
No one does fuck people up Tai Chi. I think that's like opposite of what Tai Chi is.
I
but-
think it was a very bold choice to give Jin
could be wrong.
a foot fetish in this movie. When he's talking to the
yeah,
blonde
no.
chick, then he's like,
he's
like, you got good feet placement. And she's like, what? And he's like, oh, because you do this
First thing he does-
martial arts. And you gotta put
First
feet
thing
right.
Jin does upon entering the Iron Fist tournament is walks over to Christy, tries to get pussy, and then immediately says, I like your toes. Like,
Yeah.
what?
No one's ever
Well, a
complained
very,
about
very
things.
bold choice, but
And
It
again,
worked
and
out.
again, he goes to the club with Christy.
we know it did. He didn't
makes out
fuck
with her and everything. But then it keeps cutting back to his fucking slum girlfriend. Like, that's
Yeah,
the thing that
I was
matters. And it's
dying.
like, you almost had sex with this other girl. What
Dude,
are you
I thought he
doing?
did. I was like, dude, man, this guy's an
I
asshole.
was like,
No.
Yeah, there's no reason to like Jin in this movie whatsoever.
yeah,
He barely gives a shit his mom died. He steals from people. He doesn't join the cause against this horrible
he fucks
regime.
two
He's
chicks in
professional
one day.
fighters.
He fucking cheats on his girlfriend. We watch it. He has no remorse.
Yeah.
No, the best part is,
It's all
the best
within
part
a
is they're
5
like,
day
they're like,
period.
they're like making out at his,
He's a fucking dick.
they're like making out in his room, and then she's like, go to bed, and she leaves. And then like the two assassins, Nina and Anna, come to fight him. So they hear glass break, and I just imagine Christy's like, damn, he's really mad he didn't get pussy. Oh, well, it's probably nothing. He'll be fine in the morning.
Yeah. I mean, I can see why Benedict Cumberbatch wanted him dead. He's an ass. It's like, this son of mine's a prick.
Okay, so I don't.
Well, I mean, like,
one of the
that's-
things that I don't get is the animosity he has towards his son. He's like, he's like, he's my son, and it's like, why are you trying to kill him so hard? Like, there's
So
no,
it makes more
there's
sense-
No
I
made a mistake.
Shut up, Joe. Not Joe. Wow, I was used to
makes
that
more
one.
sense.
Shut up before. There's no. It makes more sense in the lore. No, in the movie that we're supposed to be watching, it never talks about it. He just goes, "I'm gonna kill my son."
You're
You
right.
just found
You're
out
very
you had
right.
A day ago, and you just want to kill him. And like,
You're very
I get it,
right.
man. Abortion's a good thing, but he is too old to be aborted. He's too old.
So
it's
I'm
too
assuming the reason in the movie is because he's the only other heir to the Mishima throne to be able to take over the company. In the
Yeah.
games, it's because Kazuya has the devil gene, which turns him into like a devil creature, which Jin also has. But that's not explored anywhere in the fucking movie.
Do they want to like fuck each
So-
other? or
I can't
what?
imagine why that wasn't explored. I can't imagine.
Would have been better
Well,
than
they-
what we got.
You said
bro.
they took out the fantastical elements, so we got no devil Jin, no devil Kazuya.
Yeah. Yeah,
Did
but
he get a
yet they
leopard-headed
kept
person?
the eyebrow man, and yet they kept that. Why the
I was-
fuck
you know
did
what?
they pick and
I
choose
look,
that
I
insanity?
his hair.
I know. I
just
know
been an old
Heihachi
guy.
looks.
Tekken.
I know Heihachi looks retarded in any context, but his look is iconic at this point. We have to keep it for the movie.
Okay, I didn't know who it was. I don't give a fuck. All right.
That's
Yeah.
the only character I knew
And
that was
neither
in
did the
Tekken.
filmmakers. So why don't I make just like a good fighting movie? Why this half-ass thing? Why?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna load up really quick on the stream here what Heihachi looks like, so you can see with your own two eyes what Heihachi looks like.
All right, let's look at this stupid thing.
God damn it!
It's not loading. Oh my god. Oh my god, it doesn't look like that at all.
I mean, as close as they can get with like a real human being and mountains of hair gel.
Yeah, he's got to go through the Static X hair preparation process in order to be doing that.
Yeah.
Trice,
Yeah.
you might be able to get your hair to look like that someday.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, you just need a lot more hair
That would
gel
look-
and a
that would
good,
look
a good
fucking
dryer in 5 hours.
Awesome.
Yeah, Trice, this has to be your goal now, dude.
Yeah. Cute cheesy Chinese flute on woman doing Chinese is what I wrote down as he was like walking into his mom's house. and he's in
Woman
there,
doing Chinese.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Cute cheesy Chinese flute on woman doing Tai Chi. I'm sorry. I miswrote that.
I would also like to point out Clever Fella, who I think is like a new follower and is seemingly the only Tekken fan in the audience right now, says, when I think Tekken, I think Heihachi. Making him look like a normal guy would just be criminal. So,
Yeah, I mean,
Oh,
Joe-
right.
I agree with him, dude. I agree with the guy because
Man.
he's the only one I know from the games.
Yeah.
And I
yeah, the very
Todd
little I
Terran
know of
who it
Tekken,
was.
I know Heihachi, I know the kangaroo, I know like.
didn't know who
Yoshimitsu.
Jin was. I just
To
knew
be
who
honest,
Heihachi-
after seeing that guy's hair, I could have believed anything would happen in this movie.
yeah.
even though
I
he
was
would've
ready
gotten
for
Could
it to
have.
be
If
like
it was more based. It could have if it
fantastical
was more based
bullshit.
on the games than
Yeah,
this
but
movie
he's
ended up being.
but they're breaking a rule of like just production design is like one thing just does not match the rest of the movie at all.
Yeah, nothing else
like
is really
that guy,
zany.
and then like the insane prosthetics on his son and his face.
They tried to justify the zaniness of the characters by having the one guy be like, "Look, you have your signature move and you have your signature look." That's why, like
Yeah.
all the other, yeah,
and
that's
way
why all the other, like
we're paid
Raven has
not
the
to
fucking,
laugh at you.
Raven has the fucking hair and like the scar, and like Yoshimitsu is just a samurai in like full skeleton armor, and like Dragunov has like the fucking like emo haircut thing going across his one side of his head.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
I thought, going back to the love interests, it was insane that the actor had no chemistry with his real girlfriend, his cheating on girlfriend. The person he had the most sexual chemistry with was the person who was like his retainer dude. When they're like staring into each other's eyes,
Yeah.
when they're like giving him like the arm thing. Like my girlfriend
Yeah.
looked at me, she's like, "They're gonna fuck," and I'm like, "They better not."
Yeah.
Apparently, the trainer dude is also a Tekken character. It's like Steve Fox or something.
He's just like, there was some sexual chemistry when he handed him that. He's like, "Keep
Yeah.
you safe."
I nicknamed him Dwayne the Pebble Johnson. It was like the first time I saw him, he kind of looks like The Rock, but like a really tiny rock, you know?
I thought he looked like great value Jason Statham.
I
That's
thought
just
that
me.
eventually, but I
well,
was too
it was
lazy to
probably
write
The
it
Rock
down.
and Jason Statham had a baby.
Yeah, and he never quite
Yeah.
grew up.
Yeah, who's the mother on that one? Unnecessary sex scene intercut with the actual plot going on. So
It was
our
necessary.
dude has a fight with his mom, and then he goes and bangs his girlfriend while at the same time, like, the world is being destroyed around him. It's what's so interesting from, like, I guess a writer's perspective is like that sex scene does not move the story forward whatsoever. It is completely unnecessary.
But there's no nudity
Completely.
either, so like there's really no purpose.
I mean, he could have left somewhere.
Clever
and had,
fellow in the
like,
chat. There are multiple sex scenes.
Yeah, there are.
Yeah.
He could have left somewhere and had like a moment where he was thinking, or maybe he was going to go do something rebellious, to get back at his mom.
I do my best thinking when I'm plowing
Nope.
puss.
He just went to fuck, and then he comes back and like, oh fuck, my mom's dead.
Yeah.
There's
I
also
crushed my puss and then Tekken crushed my mom.
at his place. There's fire burning everywhere, but nothing's actually burning. Like the fire's not spreading.
He has time to like look through all his belongings like longingly.
and chilling and have an entire conversation with his girlfriend. There's like 3 things on fire in the background. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
Really didn't spend any time on the mother's death, honestly.
No.
Like, they're just gonna slow it. They're gonna slow it down in post production,
Important, bro.
and that's it.
Your death wasn't important.
Yeah.
Nope. And then I put, oh man, training flashbacks need a 20-year break.
Yeah.
We need a break before we could use them in movies ever again.
Yeah.
Oh,
My comment was the movie's actually 45 minutes, but the slow-mo and the flashbacks actually draw it out to its full 90-minute girth.
Yeah.
It's like every time he's getting his ass kicked, he's reminded of how
tight
his,
90 minutes.
yeah, every time he's getting his ass kicked, he's reminded how his mom taught him how to not fight. That's what Tai Chi.
Yeah.
Here's how you relax before you go to bed.
What does she say? Like, what does she say during like the Yoshimitsu fight? She's like, destroy the mask of death and find out that there's nothing behind
behind
it,
it
nothing
or
to
something,
fear.
yeah.
It's like, what does that have to do with the fucking he wears.
I
a
would
mask,
love to
but,
see
like,
the kid's actual reaction to that. It was like, Mom, what does that mean? I have no idea. What are you talking? What mask? What the fuck are you talking about right now?
Mom, are you high?
He's not paying attention. Like just sucker punches. his
Swing
little ass.
away. What the fuck?
Yeah.
So did he like actually kill him?
I
or
understood
not?
that reference.
Because like
Yeah, way
I
to
thought
go.
he killed him, and then the guy's like, "Oh, when they thought they killed him is when our rating spiked." I'm like, pretty sure he fucked him up, bro.
Yeah.
Well, I love how Kazuya's immediate reaction to that is like, oh, they thought he killed him, so now every fight has to be a fight to the death, and it's like, what?
Yeah.
Why is that where
He's
you
like,
go
I
to?
didn't understand what Tekken was about, and then now I do. Now you all have to die, and it's like, oh, okay.
I love the presentation on the wall where he's like naming all the fighters, and there's always every one of these fucking movies, dude. It's almost every fucking movie ever. Like bleep boop bleep. Like how much time would you have had to do? Like you would have had to put in so much time on your fucking PowerPoint presentation to have all those like beeps and computer whistles and shit. And it's always.
Are you
in
talking
these
about the part
fucking
where
movies.
he's explaining the fighters, or where he
Yes!
like looks up
Where he's
Jin's
naming the
DNA
fighters.
to find out that it's like.
He's naming the fighters, and it's like an episode of 24 where it's like the computer's just making fucking zing whistle
They've got
noises.
like
for no
a
fucking
ring of like
reason.
7 monitors above like the circular room, so you can see.
It
like,
is still.
Raven,
It is still a
Sergei
cliche in movies.
Dragovich.
This cliche has gone on for like 40 fucking years. It needs to
Yeah,
stop.
we need to stop
Computers
with the...
do not make those noises.
Yeah. It's like an
Unless
old
someone
man.
tells it to.
It's like an old man
The
setting
one
up
thing
a
I thought was
PowerPoint
kinda cute-
presentation.
The one thing I thought was kind of cute was when he was trying to find out like Jin's biological shit, and he eventually finds out that he's Jin's father. Was they had like basically the fighter select screen from Tekken. It's like choose your fighter, and it's just rotating 3D images of them at the top. I thought that was kind of cute, but like, you know.
All right. And then I think my general problem with this movie is like it's just underdeveloped. It feels like it was a first draft of a screenplay, and like they put a bunch of placeholders in, and that was it. They didn't worry about like digging into any of the characters. Like even as a movie, I realize that like A4 always comes at this from like the defending the fan perspective. I think first
I
off,
can't do it from here because I've never played Tekken. I
somehow
watched
you
this
know
purely as-
so much shit.
Yeah, you're like the
I'm
main
like a
guy.
fucking autistic sponge, dude. I don't know what you want me to tell you. I retain this information.
you're
But like when
Brad
it comes to like
Pitt's-
Tekken fan,
Just a little bit of the tism over here. Just
Yeah.
a little bit.
when it comes to like Tekken fan shit,
a
I don't
great
really
Tool
care. So I
song.
mostly watch this as like a fucking as a movie watcher first and foremost.
Yeah. So
Tis
as a
nice.
movie, it
And Joe comes at it
really
from,
doesn't work.
From
And I would like not, first off, straight up, I would not give a fuck if they just took the name and then made a great movie that had almost nothing to do with the video game.
That's what they. That's how they. That's how
I
they
would
make
not
good
give a
ones
fuck.
normally. They're normally like
there are great movies that have been made from books where they just like threw out the book. They were
Yeah.
like, they had like the general idea of the book and they were like, fuck it.
they just kept the
We're gonna
plot
make something
synopsis. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't mind that. I'm kind of like whatever the art form is, that's the king. You don't need to, the video game already exists. The
No,
book
King is
already
actually
exists.
a guy with a leopard face
Shut the
on
fuck
his
up.
head, and he
The
runs
book
an
already
orphanage.
exists. Whatever. Like the source material already exists. So you should just be trying to make a good movie and take whatever it was from that source material that made you excited to make the movie, and that's the only
Yeah.
stuff that should be in it. Like honestly, like even a movie based on like true events, I don't give a fuck. Like I honestly don't, and I think most filmmakers probably don't give a fuck whether or not what they're doing is being accurate or not, because they're just
Yeah.
telling a story. Like when you're going in to see Lincoln, it does, like just because there was once a guy named Lincoln, that doesn't mean that this movie has to follow that. Like what actually happened at all, because it's a drama.
When I go
It's
to
not
see
real
Lincoln, I don't
already.
expect Abe Lincoln Vampire Hunter.
Yeah. That
Yeah,
I did
there
watch
you
that.
go.
I did watch that. That was good.
So no, I mean that's just an example. So like, I think what's doubly bad about this movie is that one, there's no way this satisfies the fans unless they really love that guy's eyebrows and that guy's fucking zany ass
I
haircut.
did
They
love
do.
it
Yeah.
there.
They do.
And then at a second level, it just fucking like totally fails as a movie. So it fails in both ways. I think like like the last time that we reviewed a movie was Super Mario Bros. And that one probably doesn't
Last
work
week,
as
yeah.
that one. No, that was God of War last week. That one probably doesn't work as a movie that well, but it satisfies the fans. And so it at least satisfies one group really well. And this satisfies neither, as do most of these movies. Now, Rampage might be the other. Rampage works way better as a movie than it probably does as an actual adaptation. Would you agree with that, A4, or no?
I think
off
that the
base?
Mario movie worked as a Mario fan thing and as a movie, as a kids movie.
Yeah.
But still.
Honestly, also Mario was the last episode, so that's why I commented earlier that how we love watching movies. Secondly,
Did we not put out Mario
No, I
yet?
thought Mario was before.
Joe-
No, God
Twice
of
put it out
War.
like today. I have to download the audio and put out the video version.
God of War was released on the 16th, and Mario was released on the 22nd.
Oh, shit. Okay, never mind.
So, but also, I think A4, speaking of great movies, is Brad Pitt's character from the from Inglourious Bastards. He speaks the most Tekkenese around here, and Zach speaks second most Tekkenese
And I go, I don't
because he
speak
knows
Tekken-iest.
like
I
two
want my
things.
Tekken scalps.
Yeah, give me the Tekken scalps.
And then Joe speaks third best because he doesn't speak Tekken-iest.
Yeah,
Instead of Arriva Derci, I'm saying like Doria or whatever the fuck.
yeah.
Speaking of this movie though, too, like the ending, like we were talking about it, but the ending is super unsatisfying too. Like not that I expected it to be good,
Yeah.
but
He
I at
just
least
goes
wanted,
back
like,
to the slums.
yeah, dude is fucking rich, and he's like, no, doesn't even get puss.
God.
Doesn't even get puss.
And his ex girlfriend, who doesn't even know that he cheated on her, just watches it.
Yeah.
Just follows.
Meanwhile,
him in the crowd.
all the jacks in their fucking kendo armor like are doing the gun salute.
No,
that they were
half
doing
of them
earlier
are
for
doing
Heihachi.
half of them are doing the gun salute. The other half are doing nothing. I
Yeah.
watched it.
Like,
I watched it closely.
I wish that his girlfriend, the one that he cheated on, was like watching that, like where the girl's like, "He's your winner," and she's like, "That Christy's such a nice girl. She's just so sweet."
I thought they were going to start making out on camera in front of the TV, like, and she would see, like, what the fuck? When did this
so
happen?
funny.
Yeah.
So fucking funny.
No, she gets knocked down, and then she's got like that snail trail on the ground. You know, she like slides. He's like, wait,
Jesus.
I know that viscosity when I see it.
Gross. Nasty. All right. I think there was one other thing that I was like really confused about is like what is the movie saying? Because
No idea.
the movie had like this
Tekken.
It was like, oh, Tekken,
Yeah,
it's like
Tekken,
this
that's what it's saying.
this giant corporation is taken over and it's terrible, but like the guy who was in charge of it is seen as a good guy about halfway through the movie. So I'm like really confused. I'm like, is the corporation evil or is it just
So
one
from what
bad egg that's evil in the
From what I
corporation?
understand of Tekken lore, the fighting between Heihachi, Kazuya, and Jin, it's like a grandfather, father, son battle, and they're all kind of evil essentially in their own ways.
I believe it.
So, but the
This
movie
movie.
basically redeems Heihachi as being like the good guy because Kazuya is just so much more evil. Because Kazuya in the first
he's,
few
like,
Tekken
less
games is the main character. He's like the main character, but then he becomes more evil than Heihachi.
Yeah.
It's weird.
But you forget that
and I don't know if you saw.
Heihachi
I don't know.
firebombed this guy's mom as well. He
Yes,
kinda
but
gives
also
that a-
Heihachi. There's also a post-credit scene where it shows that Heihachi is implied to have lived after you thought that he got executed by the fucking
You
Jack.
didn't immediately turn off the television at like the directed by like, "Mark, I'm done. Okay,
Yeah,
no, I
dude.
watched for a
Wipe
post-credit
my
scene. And there
hands,
was
get the
one.
fuck
There was
outta
one. Where,
here.
there was
know-
one.
you
It was a replay of the scene where Heihachi is like about to get gunned down by the Jack, and Heihachi's like, "I am Tekken." And then it keeps going, and he's like, "You will obey." And then the guy puts his gun down, so it's implied that Heihachi wasn't killed.
Oh, I was hoping he
which
was
fit
gonna.
with series lore.
I was hoping he was gonna say, "If you strike me down now, I'll become more powerful than I could possibly imagine."
And when he comes back,
He
his
looks
hair is
straight at the guy. He's
actually
like,
longer.
"Your soul is mine."
And then he fucking disappears. His robes just fall to the ground. That's how you
his
end
hair-
it.
God.
You find out his hair was plugs. Because it is fall.
The hair stays there too. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, dude. Yeah, that
This
sucked.
was a really bad movie.
Yeah, was there a bunch of scenes where you guys like could not hear half of the dialogue? Like one person would be extremely quiet. And,
I
like,
heard some really bad ADR from the mother. Like when he goes and he talks to his mom, the only time of the movie I was actually taking notes. When he goes and talks to his mom, his mother is like so heavily ADR'd. Like it's clear that like he got the in-room mic and then she is just like talking to like one of these microphones, like straight up.
all like perfect and yeah.
Yeah.
The pant thing with the chick was too much. I thought definitely too much ass, which is weird because like I'm all about the sexualization in these movies, but I don't know, something about that like shoelace ass pant thing was like too much for me. And I'm like, I don't know.
The ass cleavage, because I
Yeah,
think that's like
it's-
what her costume looks like in like Tekken 5 or 6.
Yeah, it's just
So-
weird. I'm like, why can't I get tits? Why do I have to get ass crack? You know, it's bullshit.
Hey, ass is better than tits. If I learned anything from prison school, it's that boobs are just fake asses. So.
Yeah. There's another really funny scene where Jin lands a really good hit on,
Strong. Disagree.
I think on the second.
Yeah, I'm a tit guy too. Honestly.
It depends. All right. If it's like, if we're talking like clothed, then I'm an ass guy. If we're talking naked, then it's
Look,
tits.
big tits and no ass will fill your hands. Big ass and no tits will fill your heart. That's a Confucius quote.
Yeah, I think I read that once. Yeah. So there's a really funny scene. I actually rewinded the movie to watch this again. Jin lands a really good hit on a dude, and then one of his buddies in the bar, the like skinny black dude, says like, "Hit him!" Like in the laziest fucking way possible, and I lost it, dude. I
Dude,
thought it was
the
so
cutting back
funny.
to the bar is so funny. Yeah,
Yeah, hit him. It's like, oh
because
man,
I
this guy
thought the
hates
dude,
this
I thought
movie.
the black dude. I thought the black dude at the bar was supposed to be Eddie Gordo, who's like the Capoeira guy, but then they actually have Eddie Gordo in the movie.
Yeah, fucking hit him.
I heard a
Because
lot
it's like a
of. I
video
had the
game movie, so
headphones on.
I see. Yeah,
I heard a lot of like lazy kind of like fill-in
Yeah.
crowd calls. Yeah.
Yeah.
That wasn't the only one.
That one was so good though. I thought it was so funny.
yeah.
Yeah, he kills his dad and then announces it to no one. He's like, blah, 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 is dead. And there's no one in the room. I'm like, what? Who's he talking to?
It's not even, no, he's walking away from an explosion. He's like, Heihachi Mishima is dead. And there's like explosion going on in the background. Like it's supposed to be this badass scene.
Little
Yeah.
did you know that
They also-
mind tricked someone to survive.
They also didn't establish that they got Jin out of that building before they blew it up. So I'm like, is Jin just also dead? Because he was like on a bed bleeding a few minutes ago.
Yeah, dude, he
So,
looked like,
that was
dude,
weird.
after he got the shit kicked out of him, he looked like he had fucking palsy, dude. 'Cause every time you see him, he's
Dude,
like
he
this.
spends this
He's like-
entire movie.
He's like laying there like that. Like, what are you, like, that doesn't look like you're injured the way you
He spends this entire movie getting the shit kicked out of him
Yeah, but luckily, like I
until
said
he just
before,
anime wins.
until he
Well,
Just
remembers
anime wins by remembering his mom.
by remembering being taught to not fight by his mother.
Yeah.
She's like, these stretches will save your life one day.
Yeah. This one
Yeah,
saved
when I
his
was
life.
top,
Eagle
when I
stretches?
was
What?
top Pilates, I learned the true value of beating up someone else.
He's
you
like
know,
downward dog, and this dude gets punched in the face or something.
Yeah.
it is that useful
what do we
to
think?
what
Final-
he's up to.
What do we think? Final thoughts?
It's dog shit. It's really bad.
Yeah.
There
I don't
are
know if it's a 0, but
no, there are way more unwatchable movies that we've watched. I would give this, man, probably a D.
I would rather watch this than Alone in the Dark 3, or the one I had to watch the first episode I was on.
Anything related to Alone in the Dark
Alone
is
in the Dark
terrible.
2.
Yeah. Alone in the Dark is especially bad. Like, you know, it on all levels. The game.
What, you guys don't like Christian Slater and Tara Reid?
No. That movie sucks. This one, yeah, you know,
Yeah.
it's very boring, and I kind of stopped shitting on it about like an hour in. I just gave up. I was like, all right, I can't. I'm not
You
even
can only
in.
shit on something
It's like, all
so
right.
much before it's redundant.
Yeah,
It's like this isn't even fun to shit on anymore because it's so low rent. It's like I just
like-
want to finish the fucking movie.
Yeah, I'm
You
trying
know,
to.
it was like when you were picking on that kid in high school, and it just got so sad because he just stopped fighting back.
Yeah, it's like
But this
Yeah,
one
that kid was
doesn't
me.
shoot your school up,
yeah.
which is good.
This one,
It just sucked. as
That
the
kid
movie.
was also me.
it was just not funny anymore. Like, there's no funniness, very little funniness in this movie.
So it's not so good. It's not so bad. It's good. That's a problem.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
which-
it takes itself too seriously.
It's wholly
like,
mediocre.
honestly.
It's
Well, there's
wholly mediocre
also
from top
movies
to
that
bottom.
like Dungeon Siege Tale takes itself too seriously as well, Zach. That's
Yeah.
the problem. It's like
But that one's
this does take
hilarious.
itself too seriously, but it's just well made enough that it sucks.
it doesn't have that whip
I don't know if
scene
I would
either.
call that one well made enough. I would say it's just not well made
No,
enough.
I'm talking
that
about
it's funny.
this. I'm talking about this.
Oh,
This is
yeah.
just
Okay.
well made enough where
Yeah.
now it's just not fun to watch. That just sucks.
Well, that's what I'm
Like,
saying. It took itself too seriously. Like it was.
Yeah.
It wasn't good.
I need to be rolling over laughing at him whipping himself across
It needs
a
to take
canyon.
itself so seriously, but be made with such shittiness that then it can become like comedy gold. This is not there.
We got to get Ron Perlman on that fucking zip line.
Because he hasn't been in enough fucking video game movies between this and Monster Hunter.
Yeah. All I remember
What
from
do we-
Monster Hunter is like, what if I made my wife roll over in a car like 80 times in the
Okay.
same movie?
In case no one's listened to the Dungeon Siege Tale, Dragon, whatever the fuck.
That's a
A
good
Dungeon's what is it? In the Name of the King.
one.
That's
In the
what
name
it
of the
In the
king,
name
a
of the king,
Dungeon
a Dungeon
Siege
Siege
is. In
tale.
the
yeah.
Name of the King, a Dungeon Siege Tale. No one's actually listened to that episode. The craziest thing about that is that the person who gives in the best performance is fucking Jason Statham.
Yeah, out of all the
All
legendary
the
actors.
A-list legendary actors, everybody does a shit job except for Jason Statham.
Yeah,
And sometimes John Rhys Davies.
yeah,
Like, yeah.
but man, the
It's
worst
two
one.
guys that, I mean, my theory still is like, it's two guys that have been in such dog shit movies like all the time that they just know how to like play their character and not give a fuck that the movie that they're in sucks ass. Like,
Yeah.
they just go in and they're like, I'll give my lines, and then they leave. So there's very few actors that can give good performances over really bad stuff.
Yeah, the
And honestly,
craziest.
Jason Statham like suddenly became such a better actor in my eyes.
Yeah, the crazy one in that was how bad Ray Liotta was. Like, he was terrible in that
Oh
movie,
my
dude.
God. May he rest in peace.
Yeah,
Right.
And
goddamn.
now remember this movie.
He definitely probably doesn't. Like, I mean, now that he's dead, he doesn't remember anything. But yeah, dude, that was
No, he's in heaven.
yeah.
He's remembering everything.
He probably went to
fat.
hell because he went and starred in that movie, and no one who was in a Uwe Boll movie can make it here.
That's a mean god.
Yeah. He made a movie without.
Very interesting.
He made a movie without tits once. Unforgivable.
That's immediate damnation, honestly.
Yeah, it's just a betrayal. That's what makes this one so annoying. It's like it's not that funny because
It wasn't rated R. It was rated
R.
R for nothing.
Yeah, there's
nothing
like
cool.
barely any blood. There's like the one scene where the
Like,
dude
yeah.
cuts the dude's head off, basically, but we don't see it. We just see like a syrupy.
He didn't even
fucking
cut his head
chain.
off. He just
Yeah,
like
he
wrapped
just,
the
like,
chain
he slit
around
his
him.
throat is what it was implying.
Yeah, and then he
Yeah.
looked fine when they moved the body away. So yeah, that was weak.
I was gonna say I like how they make the two black guys fight first, so they can get all the race out of the way.
Yeah, let's get the race
Like
question.
all the colored people fought first, and they're like, "Good, now it's a white person movie," and it's like, why?
We'll keep one around to get shot.
They also
Well,
had the two chicks fight.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
Another
did have
scene
like
you
the
don't give a fuck
female
about.
fight.
Yeah, but it wasn't cool because she didn't like do anything I've seen in the WWE where she like vag smashes her or anything like
She
that.
did have
so
a
it
really
wasn't
bad
cool.
line
To
after she
answer,
won.
Oh, where she's
to
like,
answer- to
"Your
answer-
boyfriend's cute." She's like, "I don't share."
Yeah.
yeah. To answer Clever Fella in the chat, yes, Brian is a robot in it. They're like considering Kazi is basically using it as leverage to try and like ban him from the tournament. He's like, you need to kill Jin or else I'm banning you from the tournament because you're a cyborg.
He's like, "Jesus Christ, you're basically a robot. They'll never let you fight an Iron Fist again."
Yeah. As he's like shoulder pressing 90 pounds or like 60 pounds max. Like, oh, you must be a robot.
But he broke a lot of cinder blocks. No, he
Yeah.
was breaking cinder blocks in that scene. He's just like putting a
well,
cinder
yeah,
block and going,
he had that scene. He had that scene where he like wrapped the fucking like the fucking the bullets around his fucking arm
"Oh yeah."
and then punched through the fucking cinder block so hard it like dislocated his whole fucking like hand and he like reset it or whatever.
And they had the
yeah.
shitty robot style. I was like, "Whoop!" And he like,
Yeah.
It's that old man with the PowerPoint. He figured out the sound effects
Yeah,
tab.
that's right.
You can't
Dude,
leave it
the
alone.
sound effects were like
sounded like before television.
the sound effects were so cheesy, dude. Like every single kung fu like move was like like it was like, oh man.
I really
Get me the Indiana Jones
it's not
whip
sound
sound.
effects, but I like how the I like how the
1970s,
film
they haven't
score
changed their sound effect for kung fu.
I like how the film score was a bunch of like post Matrix stock music where it's like boom.
Oh yeah, there was straight up a like Don Davis like
Yeah.
moment in one of the fight scenes, and I was like, really?
Yeah.
Is this a callback to the Matrix, or did the
I
guy
like-
just say like, I want something that sounds like the Matrix?
Yeah.
I like
Yeah.
the sick puppy song in the beginning of the movie.
What
Yeah,
6
that was-
albums did
So
Dwight
fucking
Little give the sound producer to make this movie soundtrack?
The Matrix.
Clever Fell in the chat too is
Final
pointing out
Wars?
that it's a wasted effort that Tekken does have a good soundtrack, so it's kind of a wasted effort that they didn't use any of that music in this movie.
How would we know though? None of us have ever played it, except for you, who's clearly
No, I've
played
heard,
it.
I've heard some of the Tekken songs. They go pretty fucking hard. 'Cause it's also the same composer I think that did Katamari Damacy, which is also great.
I played Tekken 5, like a couple hours of it. I don't hardly remember it. It was fine, but I remember the whole time I was thinking, I'd rather be playing Mortal Kombat right now.
Yeah.
Mortal Kombat's the tits, man, honestly.
I mean, I think about that when I'm like
Every
balls
time I
deep
play
sometimes.
Soul Calibur, every time I play Street Fighter, every time I play fucking Super Smash Bros, I keep on thinking I'd rather play
Well, Joe,
Mortal
that's because
Kombat
you're
right now.
Joe. That's because you're an American gaijin who doesn't like well-made Japanese fighting games.
I'm an American.
You don't like
gaijin.
the American. You only like the American fighting games. You don't like the Japanese fighting games that are forged 1,000 times in Mount Fuji's fires.
Mortal Kombat.
That was also fun. That was also
Because you
funny how
are
they kept like
gaijin.
ordering the jacks around in this movie, and they immediately speak Japanese, and it's like ikuzo, and it's like I understand what that means, but
The next movie, by the way, on the list, the
Prince of
Jake
Persia?
Gyllenhaal classic. Hey, motherfucker! Hey, A4, you just did
Shut
it again.
the fuck up, A4.
You did it again, A4. You can't stand me having a
talk
little
too
dramatic
much.
pause.
He's Craig.
Dramatic pause.
He's turned into Craig.
Was it a
I know.
dramatic pause, or you just didn't remember what you were talking about? Because
I don't
it's not
think
really a
I don't think the
dramatic
Prince
pause.
of Persia. I don't think the Prince of Persia movie deserves a dramatic pause, but that's just me.
Next up,
We're doing. Just kidding. I just wanted to A4. I'm sorry.
Prince of Persia,
Yeah,
The
next
Sands
week.
of Time.
Next week.
Not next week. I already beat the third birthday, so
But
A4.
A4
I
has
didn't, so we might.
Yeah,
Dude,
A4's
watch
got to
it
beat.
You gotta know.
A4's got to beat Parasite Eve 2 and 3.
How long is Parasite Eve 2?
Not very long. It's like 7.
Like
hours.
11 hours.
Okay, so can you do 20 hours of gaming before next time? 'Cause
Yeah,
that would-
probably, but we'll
Okay,
see.
that'd
I
be
usually
too
don't.
easy.
I'll let you. Hey! If I can't, I'll let you know. You probably have Disney Plus. You can probably watch Prince of Persia on that.
Is that on?
If
Is
not-
that a Disney movie?
Yeah, it's a Disney movie.
Yes.
Oh, I can borrow
hold
my
on.
sister's Disney Plus then.
Prince of Persia streaming. I'm fairly I know Jerry Bruckheimer produced it. I think
That doesn't necessarily mean it's Disney.
it's on Disney
It's
Plus.
Disney.
Yeah.
It is Disney.
Oh, nice. Well, that should be fun times. I like Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yeah, you don't understand. Disney actually owns Bruckheimer.
Everything.
Like
yeah.
slave
I will say
master owner.
the chick in Prince of Persia, the
She's
movie, fucking smoking, dude.
There
So
was
was
some
the
attractive
girl who
women
played
in
Christy in this movie. The girl who played Christy in this movie was apparently in True Blood for like a season and a
You
half.
said that 5 times this episode.
Because I looked up her IMDb and that was like the only notable credit she had. But
Because you're
if
trying
she's
to
in
find a
True Blood,
plot.
I'm assuming they're not hiring her for her acting talent. I'm assuming they're hiring her for other reasons.
Yeah, they better
and
see
I'm
your
probably
tibbies.
Yeah, this is actually
Yeah,
like
'cause-
pretty stacked talent on Prince of Persia: The Sands of
Yeah.
Time.
Isn't Ben
hopefully-
Kingsley in that again?
Yeah, Ben.
Yeah, Ben Kingsley.
So
yes.
Jake.
You'll
Fuck
never
yeah.
guess what kind
Academy
of character he plays
Award
in this
nominee Jake Gyllenhaal, Academy Award winner Ben Kingsley, Alfred Molina, is it Gemma
Arterton.
Arterton? Is that the
Arterton,
woman
yeah.
you're
She
talking
is-
about?
She's
She
a
is
fucking
fucking-
babe, dude.
Fire,
Okay.
dude.
She is
So you guys
hot.
find her attractive?
That was a weird period
She's,
of
she's Strawberry Fields in 007.
That was like a weird period of Disney where like all their live action movies had really hot women. They had like the really hot woman in John Carter. They had what's her face in Tron Legacy. I think it's Olivia Wilde, right? She was super hot.
Oh yeah.
And then they had this bitch from Prince of Persia. So
Man, Ben
and that's not
Call
even
her a
counting
bitch.
Keira Knightley from Pirates of the Caribbean.
You know how many fucking these video game movies Ben Kingsley's been in? I think this is like at least his third. Like what is wrong?
He's in
with
a
that
lot.
guy?
I think after he won the Academy Award in like 1980, what was that, 89 or something
He
like
just
that.
decided to do passion
He's
projects.
just like, I'll just do whatever now. What do I have to live for anymore?
I'll just play villains in movies for idiots.
Yeah, I could see him saying that. I mean, after seeing him in The Sopranos.
You know, what's crazy? This is directed by Mike Newell. He did kind of do the worst Harry Potter movie, but he's got some good other movies.
Which one?
Which Harry Potter
4?
movie?
He did the fourth one, yeah. There are good things about the fourth movie, but the second one's probably the worst one, actually.
People say that, but like I like it for some weird reason. Maybe because I grew up with it, and it's got a lot of the iconic moments, like the fucking, the Chamber of Secrets and all that shit.
yeah,
It is
I
the
like
longest though.
the look of the chamber. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I got a little gripes with that one, but all the Harry Potter movies are fine or better.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
it's
I was
not
gonna say
like-
because I don't hate
bad.
Goblet of Fire. It's fine, but I also haven't seen it in like 15 years.
I think what the problem with Goblet of Fire is that it's like because the third movie is the best one, and it was made very well. Like artistically, it's very beautiful, and it's a pretty good adaptation. Really took the series in like a more serious, dark direction. It was like doing everything right, and then the fourth one continued the seriousness of it, but then like cut down the adaptation, I guess, of the plot. And like the fourth book is like this kind of the slow boiling mystery until it blows up. And then the fourth movie is like this like rampage of action scenes and like comedy bits. And it just, I guess as a Harry Potter fan, going back to that old argument of like, should it like should
Harry, did you
be
put your
good
name in
for
the goblet
for
of
the
fire?
fans or good
He
for
asked
the movie?
calmly.
I don't know if this was.
Harry. And you're like, whoa.
I don't know if this works that well by itself or is that great of an adaptation like the fourth Harry Potter movie, but it's
By the
all
way,
right. It's not bad.
Darth Stroyermon says the amount of boners given alone from Olivia Wilde's suit in Tron Legacy. It's all I remember from that movie. That is like the coolest. That is the coolest looking shitty movie ever. Because like Tron Legacy is not a great movie. It's
It
pretty
looks
mid.
fantastic,
But like,
though.
god damn, if that is not one of the coolest looking movies they've ever made. Holy shit.
You know what else? You know what else might be one of the coolest looking movies ever made? Is Chicken Coop, which I think Joe has been able to get enough money for it to.
Yeah, thank
make.
you. Thank
So
you for
am I
the
going to get
late
a
plug.
Blu-ray of that
Good plug.
before I get one of the last movie or what? What's going
All
on?
right, so let me tell you about the last movie's Blu-ray issue. Okay, so I'm gonna end up having to print those Blu-rays myself. Obviously, why it's been delayed. Chicken Coop. I don't think we put that Blu-ray would be like one of the. We learned our lesson on the last movie. I still owe people things for the last.
I did
movie.
donate for the private screening tier, so I will be
There
expecting
will be a
that.
private screening. So there will be like basically here on Discord once we have
Oh,
everything
okay. I
lined
thought I was
up.
going to have to fly out.
No,
I mean, I'm
probably
going to,
for
but-
we'll probably
you wear a
have
suit to the premiere though.
we'll probably have a private
Yeah.
one. It depends on where it premieres, like festival wise. We don't know yet. We gotta submit. So whenever it does actually premiere, like at a festival, then we'll have like one for people who supported the movie, both locally and digitally. So
If it goes to Sundance, I will try to go to Sundance so I can support
I don't
you.
think it's. I mean, I would doubt it would go
Then
to
fuck you.
Sundance. There are some other bigger festivals we hope it'll get into.
Oh, okay. Sorry for
but
not
thank
being
you
big enough
for reminding me-
Joe. Sorry.
Thank you for reminding me this
Sorry
week
for
about
trying to support
donating-
You fucking asshole.
Thank you for reminding me this week about
Thank you,
donating
Zach.
to the Indiegogo because I totally fucking forgot. I'm like, I gotta support my boy Joe.
Yeah, thanks for reminding
Thank
me. Because I wasn't going to do it again. Because I gave you a lot last time. So
Yeah, you did. Thank
Yeah.
you. But
was
if I
hoping-
didn't ask,
See, here's
if I
the-
didn't hit everyone up,
the problem is, the longer now that Joe has enough money to make this, we can't like keep him here. So like he's got some freedom. So you guys should have donated like $1 each, and then his ass would have had to stay in Cedar City for like another 3 years instead of just like another 2 years. They're delaying.
yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that would have delayed me like
I
a
think
couple months.
Twice is just sad that you keep getting farther and farther away from him.
There's no.
Honestly,
I
is
mean,
what I'm
I just
talking
said a general plan of like pay off my debt and then move.
Yeah,
And now Schweiss is already having huge talks about it.
I've got like a
Twice is like, I wish I knew how to quit you.
Dude, I am 20 grand in debt. This is not happening tomorrow.
I mean, I've just got a little plan to keep you in debt forever so that you stay.
Okay.
all.
Schweiss, you know what? You know what we
And,
could do?
and Schweiss
You I,
thinks
Schweiss.
I'm the Jew on this show. Okay, all
Jesus
right.
Christ.
my
Jesus
God.
fucking Christ.
Yeah.
Schweiss, just so you know, this is what you could do if you wanted to. Okay. First off,
Towards
the
your
job you
car.
have, you could transfer to somewhere else with a way lower cost of living. And that lower cost of living place could be the place I want to go to. And you could get a big enough house in which I could rent a room.
You know what? Joe
I'm
has a
just
good
saying.
point because you work for the government and you can transfer anywhere.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
but
really
Schweiss,
So,
do you really want
if
to? Do you
we're-
really
if we're
want to
connected
move
at the hip.
because of Kingdom Hearts?
If we're connected at the hip and you must have me still around to do podcasts, feel free to be the one who actually moves first.
I mean, I'm gonna do that, and then it's gonna be like, okay, I'm done doing podcasts. Like, we'll finish what we got, and then you'll just refuse.
Yeah, I was
going to
say, do you really want to have Kingdom Hearts for 6 more months and then nothing else be the reason you completely upend your entire living?
Yeah, to go live in South Carolina.
Oh, I thought we were doing a Wheel of Time.
Hey, that would be
podcast.
closer to me.
Yeah, Wheel of Time. I have 2 episodes.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
that's
thought you
not
meant
gonna
the-
fucking
I thought you
happen.
meant the book.
The show sucked, man. It's over.
The show was the reason to make the podcast, but the show was bad. I finished it,
I
and
guess-
I hated it. But Craig,
I mean, I know
wouldn't
that
even
none
do
of
more than
the-
one.
Dude, I've watched 30 seconds and I won't watch anymore. Like
30
honestly,
seconds.
Craig is
after
like,
I-
dude, it's so,
No,
it's
the
so
spoilers
good.
that I got for that show, and you gave me one of those spoilers, pisses the fuck out of me, and
What
I will not.
spoiler? Oh, the
Dude.
gay?
The loyal dies.
Oh,
I
in the first
can't.
episode.
Spoiler.
I cannot believe
Oh well, you
how
already
bad
said
it
on there.
was.
Yeah.
Dude,
I can. It's an Amazon production.
Dude, this movie, this Street Fighter movie, is better as a movie than the first episode of Wheel of Time is as a TV show.
Yeah, the Street Fighter
Sorry,
movie called Tekken.
yeah, the Street Fighter movie called Tekken. He
Yeah.
said you were watching.
They only
Street
said the
Fighter.
name about 176
Yeah, it only consisted of 80% of the dialogue.
I feel like we just need a scene in one movie where they just name every single like fighting thing where they're like, you were a Street Fighter and you had Mortal Kombat every day and your soul has that caliber, the Soul Calibur, and the Tekken,
and you will be the Blaze Blue Calamity Trigger. No, but like I was watching this, I was streaming this to my buddy, and we were laughing
That's
because
Smash,
every time they're talking about every time they were talking about Tekken, it felt like meta, where it's like my mother always told me to stay away from Tekken, and I'm like, yeah, me too, because it sucks.
Yeah. She also taught me gay kung fu.
Tai Chi.
Yeah.
That only kicks into effect when I'm about
See,
half a second.
Tekken
from
actually
death.
translates to Iron Fist.
He's getting his ass kicked.
Tekken translates to Iron Fist. Tai Chi actually translates to gay kung fu.
Yeah.
So,
Bro, Jin
Gay kung
is
fu.
Jin is the actual character from Kung Power into the Fist. He's like,
Yeah.
I'm bleeding, which makes me the victor. When he like,
he's wimp low.
yeah, he's wimp low, bro.
I'm bleeding, making me the victor.
Egg roll all night long. Sweet
All
soup.
day long. You guys are always off by a word. I've only seen it
If you've
1,000
got an ass, I'll
times.
kick it.
If you've got an ass, I'll kick it. I love
Seriously,
that.
the one that
Dude,
dude, I saw that movie when I was like when it came out. I was a child. All that movie.
Dude,
And my uncle took me to see that in theaters, and like my uncle usually falls asleep. And like every movie I remember him taking us to as kids, he fell asleep. This is the only movie I remember him staying awake and laughing like a fucking madman.
You know how I
Just
saw
fantastic.
Kung Pao for the first time? We were going on a school trip to Six Flags, and one of my friends won that out of like one of the arcade machines where you stop the wheel from spinning and you win like whatever prizes in that like.
And
slot.
he
It
won
was
the grand
DVDs, and
prize, which was
He won Kung Pao, and we were
Dude.
watching that on the bus home on the bus
best
TV.
prize ever.
That's funny.
Yeah, seriously.
That fucking movie is so
amazing.
good.
Because I don't own the DVD, but apparently the DVD has the fucking cut of the movie where it's whatever he's saying on set that's not the actual dialogue. So whatever he was saying to make it look like the lips didn't match.
Oh no.
All I'm saying is we should have a new clan watch party of
Oh fuck yeah! I love Kung Pao.
The last time I watched Kung Pao, I was having a panic attack on edibles.
Oh yeah, you told us that.
Yeah.
Now you
What
can
if
do
my
it fast.
tongue? What if my tongue grows a
your
face?
tongue pal? I've learned tongue pal. The cinematographer of Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time was also the cinematographer for Mad Max Fury Road.
Oh,
No
Wow.
shit.
Yeah.
oh, I hope it's
That's
fun.
awesome.
then.
And
Granted,
Cold
when
Mountain.
I saw Prince of Persia in theaters, I don't remember hating it, but I was also 20, so you know.
So you were jaded. You were still part of that.
No,
like,
I was a
meh.
stupid kid. Like
You
I'm
jaded
older now.
into
I can
smart.
probably recognize when something's really shitty.
Wouldn't it be horrible
I also
if
have
you
a-
recorded a podcast around then and it was stayed out forever?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you were
Yeah.
you were in your 30s and you were still recording the same fucking podcast about Final Fantasy.
Yeah, it would,
games, for
it would be a
example.
shame if I was. It would be a shame if I've been doing podcasts for almost half of my life at this point. But that's neither here nor there.
Yeah. Be ashamed to pioneer this art form
Yeah.
just to be crushed
Okay,
by
fair.
We are
British
not.
scourge.
Let me tell you right now, we are not pioneering podcasts. There were podcasts way the fuck before 2010. Don't you worry.
Yeah. Well, we started in 2014, so
I'm just saying 2010 is like when I started. There were podcasts since like 2003, dude.
yeah, but nobody really knew. Not like
You
widespread.
fucking hipster.
No, so there's like I think there's like 4 different phases of podcasts. There was like the actual like progenitors of podcasts where they were like having to like upload their own servers and do all that shit manually and like figure out their shit. Like that's definitely not part of that. Then there was the next wave of podcasters where it's like the podcatchers got on board and like the like the Libsyns of the world and the Blueberries and all these like companies let you make
Well,
a podcast.
it was like after
and then
Apple like coined the
Yeah.
term more
and
or
then
less.
then they filled in the stuff. And I think that's where we're at. We're in that like second phase of podcasting. And then Serial happened. And then after everything after
When it became
Serial,
mainstream.
where podcasts became mainstream, because literally when we started our podcast, a lot of people didn't even know what that was. Like, and now everybody knows what that is. And it's because of Serial. So it's like post Serial. And then there's like the fourth wave of podcasts, I think, is like the YouTube podcast combo, where like now people think of podcasts as something that's on a YouTube channel instead of thinking of it as something only on audio and on your phone.
YouTube even has the podcast. Like you can set. I learned this from uploading stuff to the Nude Clan YouTube channel. Is that now YouTube you can set a playlist as a podcast.
Yep.
To what
Thank
end?
you for
I'm not
saying
sure,
that, by
but
the
you
way,
can do
because
that
I
now.
did that for my job too. I was like, oh shoot,
Yeah.
I better update our thing. And
Well, as soon as I got the message, I'm like, well, we do run a podcast, so I guess I'll set the Nude Clan live thing to a podcast feed or whatever.
I think we're
Whatever the fuck
solidly
YouTube considers it.
we're solidly in the second wave of podcasts. It's like before they became we were definitely we're in the hipster age. We're in like the silent film era. Like there was the experimental stuff, and then there was like
I don't know if I'd call
full-on
it the silent film era, but
and then Serial is the jazz singer that comes in with sound, you know, and then
I think we're like the we're in the era that's like the Ride the Lightning of podcasts, where it's like wasn't super popular yet, but was kind of getting there. Some people knew, but not everyone knew.
Yeah, and assholes put it as the number one, pretending that there's not at least 2 bad tracks.
By the way, what do you guys not like about Trapped Under Ice? What is wrong with you?
I'm trapped under ice.
Exactly.
Ding ding. Ding,
I like
ding.
that's
Ding, ding, ding,
that's just a solid song. What is wrong with you?
It just doesn't.
It doesn't jive.
I don't like the chorus,
Like,
dude. It
the
feels
chorus
like
is
he's
stupid.
I feel like it was cut
I guess
together
it's
with
the same way we're like
with scissors, and
I guess it's the same way where you guys both gave Fight Fire with Fire a fucking 10. Meanwhile, like I think Fight Fire with Fire is like a really clumsy song.
okay,
Like the
no one listening knows what the fuck we're talking about.
I didn't give any.
know,
I haven't
but-
ranked that album at all, by the way.
Well, Joe and I think Roxo gave Fight Fire with Fire a fucking 10 out of 10, and I'm like, why?
First off,
song is so
Metallica is
clumsy.
my favorite band. Everything is going to have a higher score than normal. Okay, I get it. But here's the deal. Okay, we were arguing. The new Metallica album came out. For those at home who want the fucking context for this, the new Metallica album came out, and we all put in, after we listened to the Metallica album, we put in our like initial rankings for Metallica albums, and of course, because there's a bunch of like thrash deep throaters in there.
Joe being Joe has a spreadsheet on Google Sheets.
And then I made
With
a
every
spreadsheet
song.
with every song so that people could actually score each song, and like because what I was thinking was like the songs on Load. I'm not saying all the songs on Load, but a lot of songs on Load are way better than people give it credit for when thinking just about the album alone. But shut the fuck up. You.
Incorrect, but
You need to
allowed
shut the
think
fuck
that.
up. No, I can't believe, dude, you gave Bleeding Me a 2. What the fuck is
That
wrong
song
with you?
puts okay. No, hold on, because you gave Bleeding Me a 10. The way you feel about Ghost, where it puts you to sleep, that's me with Bleeding Me. That
Dude.
song is so fucking plotting and long and boring, and then it goes on for 8 minutes. It stops halfway through, and then it ramps up for a second fucking lap. Are you kidding me?
I heard a
And
Ghost song.
I also don't like grunge. So
I heard a Ghost song on the radio today, and I don't remember what it sounds like or what the name of it was. And it wasn't the Cersei.
See, that's funny because I already listened to Load and Reload back when we did the Big Four album rankings for the thrash guys a couple of years ago, and I'd forgotten all of the Load songs because of the same reason. They're not memorable.
2x4
They're boring to
and
me,
Ain't My
but that's
Bitch
me.
aren't memorable to you? Are you kidding me?
Also, Joe being like, oh, Load and Reload are like James's most like high profile like lyrical content. Meanwhile, the first
do
song
think
on
so.
Load is called "Ain't My Bitch." Like, come the fuck on, dude.
I'm not saying every song.
It ain't my bitch.
I am 100% not saying every song because, like, gosh, what the Poor Twisted Me is not great. Like, there's songs on there that aren't good. Like, the problem with the Load Reload albums is that there are like 7 songs we could all live without between the 2 albums. Like, you could have just cut them out.
A few more for me, but
that there are like excellent songs on there in addition to that are just as good as any of the thrash classics that they made. It's just in a different genre. So if you don't like the genre as much, then
I don't like grunge. So that's
problem.
why I ranked them low.
I think, by the way,
it's probably why I ranked. And I know you do. I know a lot of people like
rock.
I personally don't like grunge, which is probably why I ranked Saint Anger higher because it's more nu metal. And
yeah, but that's just
because
trash.
of the shitty.
That's not. It
is. But there's like a weird thing where
genre. Like, it sounds like shit. That's what Saint Anger is.
there's a weird thing. Look, I'm not saying Saint Anger is a good album. I just like it better than Load. But the reason is because, like, listen. On both Load and Reload and Saint Anger, James is doing like a cartoon version of his own voice on a lot of tracks, and it sounds less like out of place on an album with really shitty production like Saint Anger than it does on an album like Load, where the production is like pretty fucking pristine, all things considered.
Yeah.
Where it's like, you have this pristine production and he's like, the memory remains. And it's like, what are you doing?
Fuck
Meanwhile, on
you.
Saint Anger,
he's a classic. That's a great song.
Yeah, that's a 10.
I just don't like it. I'm sorry.
Oh, you prefer frantic.
I'm sorry.
Tick, 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 tick.
I do, actually. I do prefer frantic.
Tick, tock. You really think that's better
do.
lyrical content?
Yeah,
Or
I wanna
honestly,
get a-
Morris?
I want to get a clock that sounds like
I'm not
that.
listening to the lyrics so much as I am listening to like how the song sounds as a whole. I'm sure the lyrics of Saint Anger are fucking retarded, but
Oh,
like,
they're bad. I want
like
a clock that just goes
How-
tick, 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 tick. Every minute.
meanwhile, you give some kind of monster. You give some kind of monster a fucking 9.
Hey,
Some kind of
That was-
monster's
You
a
give
great
some kind of
song.
monster a fucking 9, which like that
kidding
song
me?
is fucking really. If some kind of monster didn't have James doing the lyrics, and if they fixed the snare, that would be a great System of a Down song. But it's not. So,
Dude, come on. That some kind of
what
monster's
the-
great.
Dude, the only thing, what's crazy to me. Here's what's
I
crazy to
disagree.
me. You gave Purify and Bleeding Me the same score. That is wild to me. Wild.
sorry,
to me.
I don't like Bleeding Me. I don't like Bleeding Me. It's bad. And Purify is a really good Slayer song from like their early days.
Yeah.
It's not a good Metallica song, but
Look, I don't view myself as a thrash purist when it comes to Metallica, but the opening track I do think is easily the best on the new album, and that is the thrashiest one. So
I
maybe
like
I
72
am.
Seasons. Of what I've heard so far, I like 72 Seasons. I like Shadows Follow.
Yeah.
I was going through all those Metallica albums again to rank all the songs. I was surprised how much I like Death Magnetic. And like, I think it's because I like the more melodic stuff, and those songs are definitely a lot more like they're like the older Metallica stuff, like, you know, Puppets and Justice for All, but like a little more melodic than those songs were, especially in the way James is like singing.
Well,
I really like that. I really like that in Death Magnetic and Hardwired.
what I said is
So-
Death Magnetic would have been between, like, if it was chronological, I think it would have been between Load and Justice, probably. As far as like the way they made the
Where do
album.
you have Justice?
No, I mean as far as like release date.
The style.
Yeah, the style.
Oh, okay.
And Hardwired, I
okay.
would say, would be probably after their first one, because there's not that many solos. And the new one, I
There's a
don't
solo
know.
on every song.
In Hardwired,
They're just, but they're just kind of like.
what's with him? He doesn't need to write music anymore, or what? He doesn't need to play his guitar.
With how high
Namarata
I
solo's
ranked
pretty good.
Hardwired, with how high I ranked Hardwired and Atlas Rise and Now That We're Dead and Halo on Fire, I thought Hardwired was going to be higher than Death Magnetic, but like that second CD just totally brings
Yeah.
it down.
Spit Out the
does.
Bone is the best song they've released in a while, though. I don't know if it's better than the
It's
best
really
on the best stuff on Death Magnetic, though. Death Magnetic is definitely better than the last
Death
two.
Magnetic has a lot of heavy
sure.
hitters that I really, really like. Like, you guys were giving the Judas Kiss like 2, and I'm like, how?
You know
That sounds
what?
really
a lot of
good.
people
Kinda
love
dumb.
it. a lot of people love it, and it's like the song to me that a lot of people love from Metallica that I'm just kind of like not jiving on.
Yeah,
I think it might be. It might be its
then again, I gave Bleeding Me a 2, so I can't say anything.
I don't like the prog either.
Yeah, it's the progginess without like, I don't know, they just switch the riff to switch the riff. It's the same thing with Trapped Under Ice. It's like it's proggy and they just switch it, and it doesn't sound like it comes from the same song.
Yeah,
like there's nothing that's like moving from one piece to another. It really, like, Trapped Under Ice to me is like one of 2 bad songs on Ride the Lightning. The rest are amazing.
You also gave a shitload to like a really bad rep to Escape, which I thought was just like fine. But you already explained it because the lyrics are really dumb.
The Escape is like eye-rollingly dumb lyrics. When I bought Ride the Lightning, and as a budding Metallica fan who was like obsessed with the Black Album, obsessed with Injustice for All, and then I got Ride the Lightning, and I'm like, I just like, amazing song, heard these on the radio a million times, and then I got to Escape, and I was like, it's like, oh,
yeah,
oh, it's like, it sounds like it's like Linkin Park lyrics.
Yeah,
in this fucking Metallica song. It sounds like,
but you were saying that, but like, and I was thinking about it at work. I was
and
like,
their chorus is like dumb.
You're like, oh, Escape is like them trying
to
to cater to angry kids in like the most on the nose way possible. I'm like, that's all of their fucking discography. Like, I thought about it at work, and I'm like, Metallica is just music for retards when you really think about it. Like. I like Metallica, but their songwriting is not exactly strong, like when it comes to the lyrical content.
Hey, this is one of the greatest bands of all time. And no, I'd say like,
and that doesn't mean that they're a bad band.
They have moments where their lyrics are weaker. Escape is one of the strongest.
So is most of their discography. But
I don't agree with that. I think largely as James got older, his lyrics.
I'm sorry. Did you hear Invisible Kid, or is it just me? Invisible Kid, which sounds like a fucking
Invisible
Dr.
Kid is
Seuss
not
book.
Invisible Kid is not James by himself writing lyrics. If you watch the movie, all the guys. This is the problem with that album.
I do need to watch the
lyrics, including the fucking therapist.
Yeah,
I do need to watch that documentary.
So it's a problem because there's not a singular artist involved. It's everybody putting in their dog shit, and it's really democratic. And that is another reason that album sucks, because like the lyrics are terrible, and that's because lyrics are written by everybody.
Yeah,
they're not just written by James.
And if you
Protector, Rejector, Infector, Detector.
That's probably a James line.
If you thought Kirk Hammett's guitar has been weak in the last three albums, just look at his fucking.
I don't think it's the last 3 albums. I think it's just the last 2. Because I think
I will say one thing about the new. As much as I like the new albums, one complaint I can have about them is that they all sound super safe and super like the same.
Yeah, you know what? You and I are the only people who are ever going to agree about that ever. Because everybody wants them to go back to a certain other era of Metallica, and I'm like, I kind of wish they just kept on moving to a different spot.
Yeah, and this is kind of why.
That's kind of what's great about Metallica is like they never kept the same sound for more than like 2 albums. Mm-hmm. And they kept
as much
on,
as
like,
I hate Load
moving.
and Reload, they did something different, and that's to be commended.
Yeah, and also they were at their peak when they did that too. They sold the most albums. They were on MTV. Like, people are acting like, oh, that's when they were the downfall.
They got
like,
Grammys
no, that was
for
their
bad
biggest
songs.
commercial success. Like,
it was their downfall. Don't get me wrong, but I mean, like, I can appreciate them going for a different style.
The downfall was
Apparently,
the Black Album.
Downfall is.
The downfall was the Black Album.
That's the
Black Album, the 16th biggest
that's when they cut their hair.
record of all
That's
time.
the beginning of the end. Yeah, that's season,
They went mainstream. That's the problem.
that's season 6 of Game of Thrones. It's like great, but you can see where it's going, and that's
they had to dumb it down for everybody else.
That's kind of where it went. Now, great on its own.
Don't agree.
In the overall picture, you can see that's the beginning of the end, the fucking landslide.
But what does the end mean? It's like your idea of my idea of Metallica is those guys. And what is James writing today? That's Metallica. But other people's idea of Metallica is like a fucking sports team, like a brand. Like, the brand must be consistent with its branding.
But that's what
or
they're
else
doing
it is
now,
not
though.
my brand.
That's what you guys were just talking about.
That's what's, exactly.
That's
and
why
I
it feels
am
like these
disappointed by
albums.
that.
That's why it feels like these last 2 albums should have been released between Kill 'Em All and fucking Ride the Lightning,
Well, I mean,
or maybe after Ride the Lightning.
Death Magnetic, I think, needed to happen because the band had lost its way as like a band that used to sound great.
Big
Yeah,
time.
and make thrash music.
Maybe that's why I like Death Magnetic as much as I did, because it's like
It's
such
a comeback.
huge comeback for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a great album. I
was in college when that fucking thing came out.
I used to rank it like number 4, and now I don't think it's number.
It's
4,
my number
but
3. So like,
it's definitely not better than Master of Justice. I would say it's not better than Ride the Lightning or Black Album, but it's.
I have it above
that.
Ride the Lightning, but that's by the numbers strictly.
I mean, at
But I
least you're
still
not
think even
choking
in
on
my,
Ride
like,
the Lightning's
even
dick.
in my subjective ranking,
Tired of
I think
that.
I would keep it there. Sorry,
It's
I
good.
Really
Ride the
like Death
Lightning.
Magnetic. It's really good.
Ride the Lightning on my Excel sheet has a 7.9 and Death Magnetic has an 8.0.
Really,
They're really close. Yeah.
I think Ride is better, but I'm not one of those
I think
Ride the Lightning.
Ride is
guys.
more classic, but I
think
mean,
Ride the Lightning
what are
is-
we going to say 40 years from now, you know?
I don't know.
I think Ride the Lightning is iconic. I think it's a little less. I think it's a little more clumsy and a little less like refined than Death Magnetic. I think Death Magnetic is what Ride the Lightning would sound like if they had made it with all the production they have now.
Yeah, and yet
So
Death Magnetic sounds like shit.
Yeah, Death Magnetic has its own.
that's because they were in the middle of the loudness war. They were
Yeah.
just trying to like fucking blow the sound as high as they could to make.
Yeah,
it
that's
Did I
like-
tell you? Did I tell you what I heard on Metal Up Your Podcast? Said that an interview with the guy who was like one of the mixers on Death Magnetic. I don't know, like, because I know Greg Fiddleman was like technically the engineer in the studio, but I don't think he was the guy that they were interviewing about this. It was, he said, yeah, the loudness. When I look back at Death Magnetic, I think about the loudness wars. I think about how I won the loudness wars with Death Magnetic. No one ever made an album that was louder than that. And I thought, oh, that's
Well,
funny, but thanks for fucking up my Metallica album, Dickhead.
Yeah,
Couldn't you have done it on
to the
some
effect
like
where, like-
bullshit albums from someone?
to the effect where like they put those songs in like Guitar Hero 5 or something, and they were like not mastered the same way, where they were like actually mastered regularly.
Yeah.
So it's like if you wanted to hear what Death Magnetic actually should have sounded like, you had to buy Guitar Hero 5 or whatever the fuck.
it was Guitar Hero Metallica, but they remastered the songs. It sounds
Whatever,
really good.
one of them.
It sounds really good.
Yeah.
on there.
Yeah.
Well, in 2028,
But
we might get a
even-
remaster.
You can turn your speakers halfway up without
even
losing
disregarding
hearing.
even disregarding the loudness war shit, I think Death Magnetic, the songwriting on that is really fucking good.
Yeah, I got really
like,
a
melodic
was-
sense that it has.
I mean, I feel like the biggest single on there was really obnoxious to me at the time, but I was only like, what, 2008?
Which
I
was what? The Day That
17.
Never Comes?
Yeah,
Or-
I got so annoyed when that came on the radio. Like, I was like, oh my God.
And it was overplayed, but like listening
really
to it
good
again
song,
now, I'm like,
though.
that's just a really, it's like a new version of like One or Sanitarium, where it starts out slow as a ballad and then it kind of ramps up to like a fucking amazing guitar solo.
Yeah, it's not
It's
as good
definitely a
as
10 in
those,
my
but-
book.
Yeah, it's a
No,
10.
but like it's
10
still a
in mine,
really
but-
good fucking song.
No, I like it a lot now. I just
I don't
got
care,
annoyed
like,
by it. I was like, is this
I
the
was
only
annoyed
fucking
by
song you
Fuel.
hear?
Me too.
Oh yeah,
I've been
Fuel.
annoyed by
yeah.
Fuel
I
before.
turned
It's
Fuel
like-
off before.
I haven't. There was at least like a 6-year chunk of time where I just did not listen to Fuel. I'm like, I'm done.
Well, we
I'm done
don't
with
need
this song.
to.
I've heard it too many times.
Yeah.
But now, honestly, when I pop and reload, I'm like, God, this. When I hear that double bass go through the chorus, and it's just, man, it's sick, dude. I love it so much.
Yeah, it's a good
But
song.
I did have to take a break from hearing it on the radio for years and years. I'm like,
Yeah, it's their
Anyway,
version of Thunderstruck. It's just you don't need to hear it anymore.
yeah. So that's what we think about Tekken,
Anyway,
the movie.
Yeah.
Since Zach is bored, when are we going to do this album ranking, but with all the Ghost albums?
No, it's okay. You guys can keep talking. It's okay.
We need to do it with
Schweiss
all
hasn't
the
even
thrash.
filled in. Schweiss, have you even filled in anything here? No, you haven't.
I have.
You filled in 4 songs.
I'm doing a re-listen, but I keep listening to the opener track because I think it's actually really good. I really like that 72 Seasons. I think I
love
might
the-
be the
72
thrash
Seasons is good.
purist. It might be. That might be me.
I also like Lux Eterna. Lux Eterna is pretty solid.
yeah.
I was watching the music
I don't
video
hate
the
it.
other night, and I'm like, damn, this is really good singing for a guy who looks like fucking
like shit.
Clint Eastwood. Like,
Yeah.
Namorata, I really love. I love that last song.
I only
on the
listened
album.
to it once. That's,
But it's very reloady, so I can imagine that some people might not like it. But
we'll see. I don't know.
I mean, load is down.
I don't
there.
mind some of the slower songs as long as they're not. The whole album isn't slow, which is what those albums are. But at least Load is.
yeah, with Fuel being a super slow song. We all know that.
No, I
Fuel
like
is a
Reload
super
better than
slow
Load.
song.
To be quite fucking honest,
crazy.
I like
That's crazy.
Reload better.
That's crazy.
Sorry.
That's Jake.
Sorry, I like music.
That's Jake
not
saying.
crazy.
That's Jake saying Ride the Lightning's the best. Crazy. It's like, no, it is not. You can't say that. It's wrong.
Are we supposed to be able to see the Aurora Borealis?
That's what
You could see it. You could see it yesterday.
I saw your.
Yeah,
though
we
it's
were
been
able to see it
storming
last
all day.
night over here in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, I saw your
From
girlfriend's.
midnight to 4 a.m.
I
Okay.
missed it, but my sister got some good shots.
I got
so.
some good shots of your sister's Aurora Borealis.
Yesterday we had a thunderstorm, so I don't think we were going to be able to see it.
Aurora Pussy Alice.
Yeah,
I wish I could send a picture of my sister to Schweiss. And he would
Areola
immediately take that back,
Borealis.
but,
Yeah, dude, if you saw what his sister looked like, you would not be cool with it.
No, I don't.
And
wanna
one's a furry. So
It's the
look,
furry.
Imagine
So,
my surprise.
She plays 14. She plays 14 though. So
Oh, I am completely shocked.
Oh, the best time to see it will probably be 2 a.m.
Oh, great! I'll be
set
up.
alarm, Joe.
It's supposed to be. It's
Yeah, I
down where
might
you
do it.
are. It's down where you are. It's supposed to be like central, southern Utah. Well, mostly southern from what
Yeah.
I read. But you're like up on the fucking top of the world.
if only it could be localized entirely within Joe's kitchen.
Yeah, he's like, this
No,
is
it's
cool.
this-
He's saying
It says it's the. It says it's the
fucking northern
southern.
lights over his sink. Yeah, it's pretty sweet.
Do you not
Yeah,
know what I'm
pretty sweet.
referencing? Do you not know steamed hams?
No,
The
I don't know what
Simpsons
you're
thing?
talking about now.
Where like Superintendent Chalmers comes over to Principal Skinner's house and like he's trying to impress it. Like Skinner's trying to impress him, and like he ends up burning the food and like the whole kitchen's on fire. And he's like, "Oh, good times were had by all," and the whole kitchen's on fire. He's like, "Good Lord, what is happening in there?" And Skinner's like, "Aurora Borealis," and then Superintendent Chalmers is like, "Aurora Borealis at this time of year in this part of the country, localized entirely within your kitchen." And he's like, "Yes." He's like, "Can I see it?" He's like, "No," and then just leave
Yeah,
while the house is on fire.
I am a
How
better
have you not-
person for
whatever.
hearing you quote The Simpsons. A completely better
Yeah,
person.
really.
How did you
changed
not watch
person.
every single episode of The Simpsons?
I did.
I did not.
No, but it was
I
also a
did
big
not.
meme a
Definitely
couple
didn't.
years.
6 p.m.
Maybe a
a few
season
years
and
ago.
a half
A few years
worth.
ago, it was a big
Channel
meme.
13, 6 p.m. Yes, sir. 7 p.m. on Sundays. New
I used to
episodes.
watch it a lot when I was a kid. Yeah, but
Well, yeah, when I was younger, but like I haven't watched.
I didn't watch them a lot. My mom hated the show, so I was.
My
Imagine
mom
my
also
surprise
did not let me
when
watch
saying
The
how strict
Simpsons.
she
I've caught up in recent years, but no, steamed hams. Then whole Aurora Borealis thing was a big fucking meme a couple years ago on YouTube.
oh, yeah, I don't know what YouTube is. So
I deleted YouTube.
I don't
off
know,
my
man.
phone.
I log onto the Nude Clan thing to put the episodes on, and I see like, what if some kind of monster was on Master of Puppets? And it's like fucking who's the guy who
I
wrote the
would
Wheel
never-
of Time? And it's like a bunch of videos of him like talking about shit.
I don't know why he's in there. To be honest,
Yeah.
is it you?
I'm maybe at one point, but
What
years.
if Fight Fire with Fire was on?
I haven't logged
Reload?
into the Nude Clan YouTube thing regularly in years and years.
Yeah.
So
I should just log in while I'm uploading an episode and just watch a bunch of ghost music
Did
videos
Jake?
so it starts
Does
populating your
Jake have
fucking
the
recommends.
YouTube
just
stuff?
watch a bunch of Ben Shapiro. You'll probably get about.
Oh,
There's
where's
already
that?
Ben Shapiro on there.
Is it no for real? Is it Jake though? Because wasn't he uploading videos at one point in time? Like
I don't know
all
who
the,
it is. It ain't me with the Metallica stuff. I'll tell you that.
He
I bet
was
it's Jake.
uploading a bunch of shit.
I'm 100% bet it's Jake.
He was uploading a bunch of shit for a while when he was editing the Phasmophobia videos,
Jake.
but those have since ended. Like he got through the whole backlog of them, so I
That
don't
doesn't
know.
mean he's not still using it to watch Metallica videos.
I don't know, maybe.
What if
possible.
Metallica videos?
Let's just put it this way, Schweiss. I see the recommended on the Nude Clan YouTube channel when I log
know
in,
what
and
you
I go, those are all things Schweiss would watch anyway, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
I know what you're. All right, we got to end this thing.
Yeah.
We do.
Thank you
After we
for-
talked for 30 minutes about the
Yeah,
Metallica ranking list.
yeah. Don't worry, we'll bring it up a
whether
few
to
more
just
times.
to just sign off and see how funny it would be if
All
I
right.
was just like live always in the nude and then just clicked off or something.
Yeah. So Tekken, the movie, fucking sucks.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
bad. Listen to Metallica and don't watch Tekken.
Why don't you watch Tekken muted while listening to Metallica?
Yeah. This would have been an
Why
interesting
not?
one to do in like cardio cinema, at like Gold's Gym. Where like you don't actually hear the movie, you just see it.
Yeah. There's a bunch of ripped guys in it. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I loved Ripped Guys.
Yeah, I know you do. You fucking
I'm going to isolate that.
fucking Joe the other day on Halo like he was talking about like, oh, I like this new Cortana. He's like, yeah, it just reminds me of like a geeky dude. And I'm like, what? What did
Joe
you say?
wants to fuck me. Confirmed.
Yeah,
That was not what I said.
dude, you were on speaker and Alex heard it too. She's like, what?
Not what
I was like, oh yeah, just like a geeky dude. I'm really falling for. I think she's cute. Like a
That's
geeky
not what I
dude.
said. First off, no, it wasn't dude. You thought I said guy. What I had said
Geeky guy.
Was gay.
shy.
Oh yeah,
Guy.
geeky guy. That's what it was. I was like, what?
I said no, forever.
I said yeah. She has this kind of like geeky, like shy thing going for her, and I really like that. And then Joyce was like geeky guy.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, I didn't say
She
guy.
doesn't remind me of A4 at all.
Maybe if I painted myself blue.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Anyway.
She I don't know.
I like the
looks
new
like A4.
Cortana.
Oh, the
I like the new
Freudian
Cortana.
slip.
Because it reminds you of me.
Yeah, it was not a Freudian slip. That was you mishearing me, dickhole.
Whatever, man. I understand.
Potato.
Yeah, I
Joe
bet you
likes
do
men.
understand, huh?
It's
Yeah.
what it is.
You little.
So Joe's latent homosexuality notwithstanding, we'll see you next week where we will either be reviewing the third birthday or more likely than not, the Prince of Persia, the Sands of Time.
God.
So we'll be reviewing the third birthday because if you don't tell me to watch Prince of Persia this week, it will not happen. I've got a fucking stacked week.
All right, well, let's just watch the Prince of Persia and be
Okay.
safe.
Okay,
I probably won't be the
third.
third birthday by then.
Okay, all right, that's what we're doing then.
All right.
Yeah.
And have a stay tuned for another film review of Always in the Nude.
While you guys were talking about Metallica, I totally haven't been watching the Stanley Cup.
Walk with your Tekken held high.
Fuck Tekken.
Yeah!